co-commentator today.
Co-commentator. Hello? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
There's a delay of a few seconds sometimes.
Yeah.
Give it maybe as many as 30 seconds.
Co-commentator.
Okay.
Hello? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1.
So how are you thinking we're gonna do this? Stuff for
Hold on a sec here.
like normal show at 6, and then just like.
Hello, everyone, and we are live from Davenport Kartway for the third race of the Ken Williams Summer Series. I'm Joseph Rapp.
And I'm Nelson Ulinski. We've got a pre-race show for you here today with a lot of our usual segments from the show, as well as an extra segment here. We'll be doing mid-season team grades for 61 Kartway Championship.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of ups and downs for a lot of teams this year so far, Nelson. Some of which will be competing tonight at Davenport Kartway. So it'll be fun giving out our midterm grades for the season and seeing if anybody rises to improve their grade tonight.
And on that subject of racing here at Davenport Kartway, we will be doing, after our pre-race show and midterm grading, we will be offering live commentary for the heat races and the features as well. So stay tuned for all the action from Davenport tonight, folks.
Yes. So, Nelson, I think a good team to start out with, obviously, with some rookies jumping up to our class this year. Let's start out with Gage Kemp. He's competing here tonight, so that's one reason I want to start with him. But what do you think of the rookie so far throughout the year?
I think he has definitely went above and beyond my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I seriously thought he was going to struggle a bit. Mostly with the difference in weight going from junior 2 to senior. And then, of course, just racing with generally more seasoned competitors.
Yeah.
But he's shown to have kept a very level head, and beyond keeping a level head, adapting incredibly quickly and showing a lot of speed. Not just the 61, but all around. He was incredibly impressive at the Brickyard Grand Prix at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and he's showing his talent here at the Summer Series here at Davenport Kartway.
So if you were going to give him a letter grade for the season so far, where would you have to put him at?
Well, it's a bit weird. I would have to say a flat A, which I would have given him an A+. I would have, except I've kind of noticed in some of the races, it seems like that while his form generally has been perfect, that there will be times where he just is lacking. If I'm not even sure really how to phrase it. I'm trying to put it together in my mind here, but I just don't know how to phrase it exactly. He just seems to sometimes lose like that last little percentage, which was kind of seen actually just last weekend. Kind of off the pace ever so slightly in the feature, but he was still fast. He was one of the fastest guys there. It's just he was not up there leading like he would have been for the early part of the season.
Yeah.
So early on, I'd say he went well beyond my expectations, but I kind of began to expect this perfection of sorts from him. And he kind of fell off almost sometimes, like in the last race. So for that reason, an A flat. Like I guess I'm going to give him a percentage grade, like a 95% maybe.
I know that last weekend he had his front tire just cord on him, so that was a lot of the reason for his struggle in the feature, which obviously dropped him like a rock. But that goes with performing, and that goes with our letter grade here. So hopefully he can can make a comeback. And if I was going to give him a letter grade at this point in the season, he's been very impressive for a rookie. He has that initial fire-off pace, so to speak. I think he struggles once he gets past about lap 8 or 9 in a race, and then he starts to kind of fall back in the clutches of the pack a little bit. So if he can find that extra bit of speed at the end of the race, I'd probably boost him up to about an A, maybe an A minus. But right now, I'm going to have to give him a B plus.
Hey, but we'll also have to keep in mind he's the points leader too.
He is the points leader, but he still has one race he has yet to drop. So he is the points leader overall.
Okay, provisional points
leader. He's the
provisional
points leader. We'll see how the rest of the season shakes out for him.
All right, who have we got next, Joseph?
Well, why not go on to our own Yelinsky Autosport? Give yourself a good old grade there.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm not. Man, I don't know. I'm not really good with self-assessments, I guess. I guess perhaps a B plus, maybe a B, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I feel like I did pretty good because, of course, I started out the season in the Art Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Which I think I did. I managed to do some pretty good things with that. I mean, I'm not sure if I'd say I set the world on fire with it. And then I had a few absences, which really wasn't really my own fault. It just wasn't really possible for us to race at the time.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. I got that new Brava, the Margay Brava.
Yeah.
Where had quite the comeback last race.
Oh yeah.
I didn't change a darn thing on the setup. Going all the way from 15th to 6th in the feature. So, I mean, I think if I could do that with a brand new kart with very little practice, I mean, I think that's pretty impressive. So, I don't know. I'm kind of modest. I'm not going to give myself an A, but I still think I did pretty good, so a B plus, I guess.
Yeah, if I was going to give you a letter grade for our season so far, I think obviously I had kind of high expectations for you going into the season. I had you winning the championship.
Well, I did lead the points for a time.
And you did lead the points for a time. That Art Grand Prix, I think, did okay for the first 2 or 3 races, and then you started having some of your mechanical problems. And that really hindered you. And last week, the performance on the Brava was pretty astounding. I went back and watched the video, saw that you spun out turn 1, lap 1.
Yep.
And the amount of karts you passed and the amount of ground you made up was impressive to me. So, I'm going to have to give you borderline B plus, right in that area.
Okay.
You know, part of getting the A, though, is being near perfect, right? And we'll get to the driver I think is near perfect a little later. But for now, B plus for Yelinsky Autosport for me.
Okay.
Next team I want to bring onto the docket is the Aaron Dunn Racing Team, because they had kind of a shocking performance last weekend, Nelson. And I think before that, we all kind of would have been, that was a pretty lackluster team there for a little while.
Yeah.
I think we would have agreed before last weekend probably a C grade team.
Oh, yeah.
But after last weekend, I got to know, what do you think? I mean, where do you think they fall?
Okay, well, I guess it kind of comes down to, what are you asking me to grade here? The entire team?
The entire yearly performance of the team. I mean,
okay.
You can't exclude anything, just like for the rest of the teams we've done so far. But if you were going to give them a grade after last weekend,
okay, because here's the thing of why I kind of say you got to consider a lot of stuff here, because that team has some of the best engineering in the whole from the whole track there.
Yeah,
putting that kart together. So for a while, that team was not getting results despite that.
Yeah.
So I very easily would have said C at the very highest.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, yeah, that was certainly impressive what she did last weekend. But if we're looking at this all throughout the whole season,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like with the amount of engineering they put into that, and I don't know, they didn't get the best of results early on.
Right.
That I'm going to have to go with a B minus, a B maybe.
Okay.
Which originally, if we were going off just where they started, I would say a C
C,
minus.
yeah.
A C minus.
Yeah.
So they've made a lot of. If we're going off of last weekend, I would say hell yeah, that was a great effort. Everything from the engineering to her driving to her endurance, because that was a rough race for her too.
Oh, yeah.
I would say she was almost perfect. So it's kind of averaging it out. I would say a B.
I know. She should have been the winner of that race last weekend, and my heart kind of broke for her last weekend when she didn't get the win. So
But it's kind of easy for you to say that when you win, though, Joseph.
it is.
So.
It is. But I was with you in the C minus. I would probably have gone to maybe a D plus on before that. But now I gotta believe they're a contender every week based off their performance last week.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm gonna raise them up to a B. What'll get them to an A is consistently being there and showing that they belong at the front of the pack, which they do.
Yeah. All right. So, who's up next?
Well,
are we gonna grade yourself next, or
we can go ahead and grade the Rap Racing team here.
Okay.
I don't know if you want initial thoughts or if you want me to give my initial thoughts.
All right, let's kind of do this how I did it. I offered my thoughts first, and then like my own thoughts, and then you kind of, I don't know, I guess checked my reality of it almost.
Yeah.
So let's start with what you think of yourself, and then I'll be like, Joseph, get your head out of your ass. You're not as good as you think you are, or something.
So my initial thoughts on our season so far, I would have to rate us probably at a B plus A minus. We had the speed at the beginning of the year, but we're unable to close in a couple races. We did close in one, but we were unable to close in a couple of the races. Then we came and raced out here, and ever since we had that crash out here, we've been off by about a tenth or two and haven't found what we had. So last week, while we did win the race, I would say it was an undeserving win. We were a third-place kart. Gage has outperformed us for a majority of the year and most of the races, coming out just in front. We had a 5th or 6th place finish earlier in the year. And so we haven't been consistently 1 or 2, so I'd have to give us a B plus. But the performance has been there. So
Yeah. Okay. I actually think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think usually going off of like last year, what I've seen of you this year, what I expect from Rap Racing is to be up front, to be challenging for wins, and you have done that.
Yeah.
Yes, now you've had your moments, like you said, where you haven't been up there, but the thing is about any championship winners is how do you handle the bad days?
Yeah.
And it seems like you handle those very gracefully. You don't let those get the better of you.
Mhm.
You know how to keep a level head. You know how to respond without overreacting. And I think probably the biggest example of that was after your wreck here a few weeks ago. Now, I've been there where I've torn stuff up, I've wrecked stuff, and I think I kind of had something like that happen too, where when I got in that hit with Max.
Yeah.
That I'm pretty sure that affected something on the kart, that affected something up in my mind, and I just kind of lost some of my mojo. The kart did, I did, and I think that, I don't know, I think kind of from the outside, looking at you, it seems like you really didn't lose that much because you still managed to win a race last weekend.
Yeah.
In a 15 kart field, which is damn impressive. So for that, I'm actually going to give you a solid A.
Oh, thanks, Nelson. Wow.
Yeah. It's all about how you react to the bad stuff, and it seems like you've been handling that incredibly well. So.
Well, on a side note here, I do want to say, Gage Kemp had corded tires last week, right? Like we mentioned.
Yeah.
He was able to still manage a 4th place finish, which is pretty damn good. When you talk about, managing a bad day, that's exactly the kind of thing that championship contenders do. And you see Gage up there contending for a championship, and obviously you see me right there behind him in second now. So I think we're definitely seeing this battle is going to tighten up as the year goes on, I believe. But the next team I want to grade, and I don't know if you'll agree with me 100% on it, but Chad Peppers Racing Team, what grade you got to give them? Kind of want to hear your opinion first, and then I'll give mine.
Okay. That's an interesting one. So, quick question here before we proceed with this. Is, I guess, attendance a factor in
That is
grading?
up to you to
Okay.
decide.
Okay.
I'm not going to put it in
All right.
mine, but
I'm not
if
going to
you
either
want
because I
to-
haven't really at this point.
Yeah.
I just only bring it up because he really hasn't shown up for that many races as
Yeah.
of late. But if we're going purely off of his performance, I would say and okay, now this might be kind of weird because like I've kind of been giving people different grades.
Yeah.
Now I'm not giving them exactly different grades in relation to each other this year, but another thing I'm considering here is grades in relation to how they normally run.
Yeah.
As of last year and even earlier this year, kind of like personal expectations almost of
Yep.
these racers. So on that topic, I'm actually going to give Chad Peppers an A minus.
An A minus, okay.
Yeah. Now, reason why I say A minus and not an A or an A plus is that what I've come to expect from him is to basically be the kind of like Tony Nielsen light almost,
Oh, yeah.
like untouchable.
Yeah.
And I've seen you and Nick kind of up there with him. And didn't Nick like battle with him for a bit?
Yeah, he was able to battle with him a bit.
Didn't he beat
Gage
him?
even was able to battle with
Yeah,
him
Gage
a
too.
bit,
Yeah.
But
So
Peppers has come out on top in most of the races he's run this
that's
year.
the thing most. That's why I say an A minus. I'm not going to knock him down any more than that.
Yeah.
Because yes, he certainly still has got it. He has a lot of speed. It's just my past expectations of him are to be miles ahead of everyone else and practically untouchable. He
Yeah.
has been touched and he has been beaten, but he is still damn fast. And because of that, an A minus.
All right. So if I was going to go off pure club racing, I'd give Chad Peppers an A, to be honest with you. The only fault I've seen him have all year long was the first race at 61 when he had the chain thrown off. And you know what? He was dominating before that happened.
Yeah.
And he would have won the race. And after that, he went right back to dominating.
Yeah.
He's been dominating out here. I think in every race he's been in except that one, I believe he's won. Now, my actual grade for him is going to be a B+.
Okay.
Because I'm going to factor in the Quincy Grand Prix here. He
Hey,
had
okay.
a terrible
Hey,
weekend at Quincy.
hey, that's not fair. I thought we were doing championship at 61
I am.
only.
If we're doing the championship at 61 only, he gets an A from me. But if
Okay.
I was going to take the whole broad spectrum of things, he gets a B+, because we all know everybody's going to go to Rock Island this year, and
Yeah.
everybody wants to win a rock. His street racing skills need to just be taken up a higher notch, just a little bit, and then he'll get an A.
Agreed.
But as far as 61 Kartway goes, like everybody else, in comparison to everybody else, he gets an A, and there's no reason he shouldn't. He's been absolutely dominant on the track club-wise this year.
All right.
The next team, I guess we could talk about is Oakenfels Racing. Nick Oakenfels and his team. What do you think about them?
Well, I think that I haven't seen him there enough to know what to think of him. But all jabs about his attendance aside, he's kind of been doing what I've mostly expected of him to be doing.
Yep.
Running up front. How many races did he? He's won at least one race this year, right?
He has not won a race
He
yet
hasn't?
this year. No. But
Well then.
he's been in contention
Yes.
to win. He's been in contention to win both races he's been in this year.
Okay. Well, I guess in that case, I kind of look at him and I think there's a 60-ohm Kartway race winner.
Yeah.
I expect him to win.
Yep.
It's not something that I expect he's going to. I expect that it is something that is supposed to have happened by now.
Yeah.
But he's still up there. But I really do. I hold him in such high regard
Yeah.
as to how much that he wins. I'm going to give him a B.
Yep.
Because he's still been up there. He's fast. It's not like he's had retirements. It's not like he's finished down the order. But he hasn't been able to seal the deal, and that's honestly a pretty big flaw for someone with a history like him of winning races.
Yeah, if I'm going to give him the 61 kartway grade, exact same as you, Nelson, a B. Now, if I was going to do the comparison like I did with Chad Peppers, I'd actually give him an A. He performed very well at Quincy, and he's been doing very well in the 206 Cup.
Agreed, and I gotta say, I talked to him a lot personally at Quincy,
Yep.
and he reacted very well to the challenges.
Yeah.
The gearing, the setup,
He was
simply
in a wreck
learning the
and-
track.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he did a phenomenal job there.
Yeah, so if we were giving him an overall grade, I'd give him an A, but like we said, 61 kartway grades, he's a B. He hasn't won that race yet this year, and he hasn't shown up enough, I think, for us to really give him a better grade than
Agreed,
that.
yeah.
Well, there is another rookie on the docket, Nelson, that I think we need to grade, and that is Max Geitzenau. Earlier in the year, he was in the Junior 2 class, moved up to the Senior class about race 3 or 4, I think it was.
Yeah.
If you had to give Max a grade, what would you give him?
That is a very tough one.
It is.
That is a tough one because I gotta say, when he first started racing, I would preliminary here. Now I'm not saying this is my final grade.
Yeah.
When he first started racing, I'd have to give him almost a D or a C, to be honest.
Yeah.
He was very far off the pace. His racecraft was quite lacking, I have to say.
Yeah.
Hearing him talk about like the setup of the kart, they just seemed kind of lost.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't get it to do what they wanted it to do. Yet he's matured. He's driven better as the season has gone on, but there have still been incidents.
Yeah.
He kind of the reason why I got into that whole front end bending accident a few weeks ago before Quincy. He's still kind of not one of the fastest guys there, but he has found a lot of speed.
Yeah.
He has picked up a few seconds worth of speed.
He has
He's
definitely
shown impressment.
He is
and he's shown
definitely
improvement.
Yeah, he has definitely shown improvement. Last weekend, he was able to run a 51-1.
Oh, 51-1?
I believe it was a 51-1.
I did that. I know I did that.
Yeah, I'll look it up here real quick.
Are you sure? I could have sworn you only did a 51-8.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But he ran a faster lap time than he has run all year, is my point.
Yes,
So he is
yeah, he did.
improving. And,
But I would say he still has some way. Still
he has
ways
a
to
long ways left to go, I'd say.
So
you
I'm
know?
actually going to have to give him a B-, I think.
Yeah.
A long ways to go, but my God, that team has come a long way since he first started racing in Senior 206.
Oh, yeah, they have come a long way, and, I think Max will continue to improve and continue to get faster. But looking at his lap time here, he ran at 51.3, so
Okay.
he was considerably faster than.
His other issue I was going to say, he kind of seems inconsistent at times.
Yeah, well, and you look at that. Last week he ran that 51.3, ran a really fast lap time, but he spun out halfway through the race.
Yeah.
Those are mistakes. If you want to win a championship, you can't make. I realize he's a rookie, so he's just trying to get experience.
Yeah, and that's typical of rookies. I mean, I don't think it's fair to compare him to Gage Kemp. Gage Kemp is quite the exception as far as rookies go.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
I think as far as Max's performance, that's typical of a rookie, and he's definitely shown that he belongs there with us. He's just got to keep learning, like all of us kind of got to do.
Yeah. The next driver on the docket is Morgan Schuler. He's made the jump from Yamaha to 206 this year, Nelson, and he's been pretty impressive.
Yeah,
for the
I'll let you go over Morgan because I feel like you're more familiar with him as a driver than I am. Like, obviously I've talked to him, obviously I've raced with him, I've seen his results, but I think you're kind of. I'll let you open with Morgan. Is what I'm saying here.
Well, to be honest with you, when his kart didn't get here at the beginning of the season, I wondered if he would be in a rush mode to get everything ready and kind of be off on performance. The first race he ran, he almost won the darn thing.
Yeah.
And so then I thought to myself, oh crap, what happens when he gets this thing actually tuned up? And he's been fast. He gets an A- from me because He's been fast. He just hasn't quite closed the deal on the win yet. He's got to get that win. He got edged out by me in the first race he was in. Last weekend, he had the pass. He had the opportunity to pass for the lead and spun the leader and himself out. So he has the speed. He's been really fast, but I'm going to have to give him an A-, because if he can close the deal, he'll get that A.
All right. I think I'm actually going to give him an A, but not an A plus though.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give him an A because of the fact of how well he has adapted, how well he has put his cart together, how well he's learned it, but lacking the A plus because of, like you said, unable to close the deal with the win. So kind of same reasoning. Maybe I'm just being a little more generous with my grading, but yeah, that's my thinking.
No, I totally understand, and I think he's right there in that. For him to get there, he's got to close the deal one of these times, and then I'll give him the A. Well, just looking at the list here, how about we grade Kenneth Johnston real quick?
Okay. Yeah.
I think this will be probably the last driver we do for now, and then we'll start kind of previewing the race that's about to unfold before us here today.
Sounds good.
But Kenneth Johnston, where does he fall ranking-wise for you, and how he's been performing this year?
Well, I was actually thinking about this when we kind of first. I started thinking about him and grading him when we first started the segment, actually. And he really is quite an oddball, and I'm not sure what the appropriate grade is.
Yeah.
And I might be a bit generous in grading him because for a time, he and I had a lot of, like a few years ago, we had a lot of very close racing, and we always bounced a lot of setup stuff off of each other. We were very close on the track and very close in the garage. And I think, so as last year wrapped up, he had that back injury.
Yeah.
And he never really raced the same after that, it seemed like. He was very far off the pace. Almost as many as 4 or 5 seconds some weekends. And there would even be some races where he wouldn't even participate in the feature. But look at last weekend, though. Where did he end up? 5th, was it?
Yep, 5th place.
Yeah. On the tail of Gage Kemp, too. Only a second off of him.
Yep.
The points leader.
Yeah.
That's not... And yeah, I know Gage had the
tire issue.
The corded tires and whatnot.
But
he's still damn fast. This is Gage Kemp we're talking about
here.
So I actually think, considering the fact that he had such a horrendous injury last year, having to overcome that, and then chasing down Gage Kemp, I'm going to give him an A. Okay?
Yeah.
I think everything he's overcome, the improvement, his recovery, all of that has been spectacular. And I'm not sure how many people would be able to do that in his position, so I give him an A.
I think that's a very fair grade, Nelson. He's had, I think when we look at Ken, we have to compare him with other guys his age racing the way they do. And last week we had a couple of older guys show up, I believe.
Yeah.
And he smoked them, I thought.
Yeah.
He does a lot of good setup work with his cart to get it to run a fast lap time without him having to overwork himself.
Yeah.
So and he finished 5th, like you said. He stays out of the wrecks and messes, and he's just out there having fun, and so I'm gonna have to give him a solid A, just like you. He is a past champion. And I think he deserves an A for how well he runs and the amount of fun he has at the track. So that's my letter grade for Ken.
Alrighty. So I think that about wraps up our midterm grading session for 61 Kartway Championship.
Yeah, so it is 6:30 right now, folks. So in about a half an hour, they'll be getting the drivers' meeting started. They're just wrapping up the last few rounds of practice here. Nelson, on to tonight. Stop looking at the rear view. We've got a fun race ahead of us tonight.
Yeah, and it's a shame really because I wanted to participate in this originally.
Yeah.
But taking summer classes, and then having a brand new kart, still learning that. It just didn't make much sense for me to race here tonight.
Yeah.
And I know I'm tired. I don't feel good using that excuse because I really did want to race here tonight, but it just didn't work out sadly.
Yeah, as far as I go, I think I had my fill of oval racing for one night the last time I was here. If this was the road course, maybe I would have been racing tonight. But no, I think we're in for a really great show. This oval has really mixed things up a lot more in the senior classes than I think either of us really expected, Nelson. And that's going to lead to some exciting racing all night long.
Yeah. So, considering that you did this, the last round, would you want to walk through the viewers what driving this is like in the Senior 206?
Yeah, so this track, and we just had a kart here in practice hit the tire barriers. First incident of the day right there, folks. But this track, you're running about, I think it's a 12, maybe 13-second lap time, which is extremely fast. And so you would expect an oval race almost to be easier on you physically, but the amount of G-forces you're facing going through the turns and the fact that the turns are so close together, it's really physically hard on these drivers. You go into turn 1, and before you know it, you're already in turn 3 on the other side of the track.
Yeah.
So everybody really wants to get in line fast, but you also want to make up those spots as quickly as you can at the very beginning of the race, because once everybody settles down, it's almost impossible to pass without nudging somebody out of the way. And so that's why you saw last time we raced here at the oval, you saw the wreck on lap 1 of the race. Everybody was trying to get all they could while they could, and it just led to 3 karts being in the same spot at the same time. I'm sure we'll see a little bit more of the same again today. Down the field in the 206 class is not quite as large, so I'm sure that'll help that situation out a little bit, but we'll see. I mean, I'm expecting more of the same here tonight as far as the competition goes, and these drivers are not taking it easy out there. It is a rough go for them.
And I recall you telling me that it was almost flat out around here, like you only had to lift through the corners?
So there's a couple different, as the Yamahas go by us here, there's a couple different strategies you can use in the 206. You can lift and maybe tap the brakes a little bit to get the kart to rotate, or you can drag the brake all the way through the corner to keep your RPMs up. I believe that's the way to go. As the race wears on, you get into kind of a rhythm of dragging on the brake and hearing the engine. It's almost Martinsville-like as far as the engine goes.
Okay.
You almost rely on hearing a certain pitch to indicate when you should brake. So it's very interesting that way, but it is so high speed, much more high speed than I would have thought it would be.
All right, we have Yamaha Senior on track now for practice, and it looks like we have quite the strong field.
Yeah, there's 5 karts in this class tonight, Nelson. 3 of which we have talked about quite a bit. Michael Welsh, Michael Dittmer, and Chad Peppers are kind of our 3 highlighted drivers in this class.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and man, I do not have any notes on hand at the moment. But who was it that won the first 2 races for this? For this summer series? For Yamaha, since they're on track right now.
Mike Welsh had to have won one of them, and then I believe Chad Peppers won the first one, I believe, on the road course, I think.
Okay.
So I think both of those guys have a win. It's weird, though, because I'm not seeing Pepper's name here in the points standings.
Huh.
Not 100% sure why. He's out on track right now, though. Are you getting hungry? What? Are you?
Hey, Joseph, would it be okay if you took over? Allie and I are going to get some food.
So we got about 3 drivers still on the track here in the Yamaha senior class, as everybody now pulls off the track as I say that. That'll be the final practice session for today here at Davenport Kartway. And so the heats will be coming up next. We'll see where everybody qualifies here in the heats and hopefully get a lineup here for you as the drivers are getting ready for the drivers' meeting here. It's going to be a hectic, chaotic night here at Davenport. You can be sure of that. These guys are going to be battling back and forth trying to get positions all the way around this little bull ring. It takes about 12 seconds to get around, 11 if you're in a Yamaha. So it'll be an interesting race. I know Gage Kemp is here. Didn't see him go out on track for the Briggs 206 senior practice. I know they're running a little bit behind today, so maybe just getting the right setup in the kart as of right now. Wouldn't be surprised to see him up there competing for the win come heat time or feature time later today. So the track is silent at the moment, so we'll go ahead and we'll step aside here for a few seconds. I'm going to go get a drink of water, Gatorade here. Get ready to broadcast the rest of these races for you here tonight. You're listening to Radio Kart live from the Davenport Kartway in Race 3 of the Summer Series. We'll be back in just a sec. Hello, everybody. We are back online. We just concluded the national anthem and the drivers' meeting here at Davenport Kartway. So we're about ready to get the first round of heat races underway, and the kid karts will be the first out on track, I would presume. We haven't gotten any names or anything yet, so maybe we'll get them before the feature, maybe not. Otherwise, one of us will head over between the heats and see if we can get something. But Nelson, we're about ready to go here tonight. Any final thoughts before things get started?
These kid karts here. If this is going to be anything like the last race, I believe we will have two karts duking it out man, I can't even recall how many laps is this supposed to be here.
So the heat is 14 laps, and then the feature is 30 laps.
For the kid karts?
For kid karts, I think it's 20 laps. So.
Okay, that makes sense. I remember the kid karts had it shorter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think most classes tonight have about two karts. Be looking out for the senior Yamaha and senior 206. Both of those have somewhat larger fields. A lot of the action will be in there, but as shown last time, even with this two karts, you can have quite thrilling action. So I'm not going to be making any judgments as to what I'm expecting for the racing tonight until we see the karts on track and racing.
Yeah, I think a class I'm looking forward to seeing, aside from the Briggs karts or the Briggs Senior and the Yamaha Senior class, if I was going to pick one of the junior classes I expect to be competitive, I think Yamaha Rookie would be the one. There's 4 karts that have been competing in that class, and the way the difference in speed between all 4 of those drivers, it gets kind of fun and exciting to watch them catch each other. So it'll be interesting to see how lap traffic affects that race here today. It looks like there's quite a bit of drivers kind of gathered around the scale here. Must be discussing something before we get underway here for the first heats of the night. But we're getting ready to go here in just a little while.
Yep, and if I seem to recall, when I called the race last time, the Briggs Junior, so it would be Junior 2 for us, even though there were only 2 karts in that race, they put on quite the thriller, as both of those seemed very close together on pace, and had different ways of going through the corners almost, so it was really interesting watching them and how the momentum shifted throughout the race.
Yeah, that was Kayla Carlson and Bryce Shaw that were in that race. Tonight you can add a third card into that mix. I believe that is Logan Graham that you can add into that mix. So
actually, I think last time it was just Shaw and Graham. I don't think Carlson made it.
You know what? You're right. Yeah, Carlson wasn't able to race last time. So all 3 of those drivers will be in the race tonight. So it should be an even better battle in that class.
Certainly. And Kayla Carlson's a bit of a regular here, isn't she?
Yeah, she's leading the regular season points here, I believe. So she's been very competitive here all year long. It'll be interesting to see if she can get up there and battle with the other 2 in her class here tonight. Kind of wanted to look at this Briggs Senior, Yamaha Senior points real quick, Nelson. We got Chad Peppers leading with 400, Matt Payway in second with 315. Everybody below that, I believe, maybe Joshua Scully at 295 can get up there and challenge Peppers, but I think at most it's going to be Peppers and Payway coming down to the win for $500 here in the championship. Anyone you think may sneak their way onto the podium, and anyone you think that may sneak their way up to contend with Chad Peppers here tonight?
Well, if we're talking about purely in the race, I have a feeling we're actually going to see almost a repeat of last race, where we had Gage Kemp and Chad Peppers battling it out for the win. Although I would not be surprised in the slightest if Joshua Skelly made it up with them, because he actually seemed to have found a lot of speed in the last oval race.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Matt Payway up there as well, battling for the win. I do think we may see Mike Welsh, as far as the championship goes, overtake Joshua Skelly if he has a good run here tonight in the Briggs Senior class. But we'll have to wait and find out. That is a very close battle. 295 in third place, and then 285, only a 10-point gap. So basically, whoever finishes in front of who is gonna overtake him.
Yeah. I would think, though, if we're just talking about the championship battle, Chad Peppers has a 85-point lead over Matt Payway, so
Yeah.
I'm expecting him to wrap that up and grab that $500 tonight.
Yeah.
I think it'll take Payway or Skelly or even Welsh an absolute miracle of Peppers like DNFing or something if they're going to catch him.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. On to Yamaha Senior, and we got a pretty close battle in the points here now.
Oh, yeah, this is incredibly close.
340 to 310. That's really a difference of if Welsh finishes second to Dittmer, Dittmer would walk away with $500 tonight. I believe it's a 60-point gap between first and second. So
60-point gap. That could even, if Brant Carter's racing tonight, then he could even take that away from Welsh.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see who all gets up in there. Of course, Dustin Bloom. I think that's about our cutoff line there in that class. Fourth place on back, probably out of contention to win the championship and get that $500. But exciting announcement here. Just got a text from our friend Carter Pease. And he'll be joining us here in a little while. He'll be setting up his fancy broadcasting equipment so we sound better.
Probably telling us how wrong we've been doing things.
Yeah, and he'll probably be joining us for part of the broadcast. So make sure you stick around for that. He's kind of our two-cycle insider, so he can kind of break down the Yamahas better than Nelson or I can. We're more the 206 guys. We are live from Davenport Kartway. Kid Karts are about ready to get underway here in a little bit. They're lined up on the grid, on the kart stand still.
It could be a while yet.
Yeah, it could be a little while. So we'll go ahead and we'll sneak in a quick break here. You're listening to Radio Kart live from Davenport Kartway.
Do-do-do-do-do.
All right, we are back live at Davenport Kartway. Kid Karts live on the track right now. There's 3 of them and getting ready for their first heat race. Coming down a little fast, Nelson.
Yep, they have. It's usually customary for them to. Oh, right, no, Kid Kart. Yeah, they instead of taking a warm up lap like most of these classes, they're gonna line up here in formation, standing start, and then they will get rolling.
Oh, Kevin just manhandled one of them out of the way. Must have been lined up wrong.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. You can just kind of. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can just kind of throw those kid carts wherever. We got the lineup for you here. It is Sealy Adams in the number 16 that will be starting first.
Alongside him is Theory Pavlones in the number 31, and bringing up the rear in the second row will be Owen Metzger in the number 10.
It is a 3-cart field once again in the kid cart class, and they will line them up 3 wide for this start. So this will be pretty fun to watch. They'll run down into turn 1 at the very least. So getting ready to kick things off here at Davenport Kartway.
And they're off. Adams in the number 16 with a slight jump on the inside, while the 10 and 31 are neck and neck, but the 31 gets a slight advantage and pulls away as they go through the corners.
Oh, the 31 has a huge run.
31 has a run, and he goes around the outside of the 16 for the lead. There is Sealy Adams, your new race winner, as he comes out of turn number 4 to take the green flag. Meanwhile, it looks like the number 10 of Owen Metzger has caught up behind Theory Pavlones in the number 31. We may have, Celia Adams in the number 16. We might have a battle between those two for second position, as the number 31 has run away with the race lead.
Yeah, it is Terry Pavlones out in front by a lot here. He's over probably about a half a lap out in front right now, and he's just kind of cruising away from the field at the moment. The battle is really for second at this point.
Yeah, and even then, I'm not sure how much of a battle you can call that. The gap almost just doubled in the last couple of laps there. But then again, it's closing up right now with Sealy Adams in the number 16 and Owen Metzger taking a slightly wider line through turns 1 and 2 to perhaps carry more speed and close that gap.
Yeah, Sealy Adams slowed way down getting into that corner and allowed Owen to kind of close in. And watch him as they come out into turn 1 here, Nelson. He slows way down, almost gets fast on the outside, but then he accelerates.
Yeah, it seems as if Owen Metzger keeps closing up that gap on the main straight. I'm not sure how confident Sealy Adams is coming out of 4 or even going into turn 1. Terry loses a lot of speed there.
Terry Pavlones is about to catch the lap traffic right now, and if he's wise, he'll kind of let them sort it out. And he dives down to the inside.
Inside of 10 and around the outside. Oh, almost around the outside. He hesitated there. Now around the outside on the back straight, lapping Sealy Adams.
He almost went around there, Nelson. I don't know how he hung on to that cart, but he did.
Yeah, no, he jerked the wheel midway through turns 1 and 2 there. Quick thinking by him. Still a kid yet, still learning. Probably not the best move. He just only had to be patient and work around, but good on him as to not run into any of his competitors.
That's what you got to love about these kid karts, just a learning experience, and they're out there learning a lot right now and taking it all in.
Yeah, so already Pavlones has yet another half a lap lead on his two competitors. Running order is still Sealy Adams in second in the number 16 kart, with Owen Metzger bringing up the rear. The gap between those two is just about stagnant, as now there's only about a straightaway between them and Theory Pavlones, with him coming up to lap them.
Yeah, and every once in a while, Terry gets close enough to maybe try and think about making a move, but then he kind of slows down and falls in the line behind Sealy Adams.
Metzger is as close as he is.
Oh, there he goes!
There he's going for the pass around the outside of Adams for second position. Changing position, Owen Metzger, the number 10 kart, now into second. And here comes Theory Pavlones to lap them, diving down the inside of the number 10. 2 laps down now he's put his competitors. Quite the run from Theory Pavlones.
He's put both of them 2 laps down, and Owen Metzger had just a awesome move there on the outside on Sealy Adams a couple laps ago. And as they come around out of turn 4, there will be 2 laps to go in this heat.
Yeah, no, quite spectacular. Usually these kid kart races are quite tame, with just kind of almost driving around, feeling stuff out here. But no, we were treated to quite an interesting race between Adams and Metzger, and Pavlones, even though he was unchallenged, showing quite the skills navigating the lap cars.
White flag is in the air one more time around for the Kid Karts, and it is Terry Pavlones that will come around and take the checkered flag in Heat 1, followed by Owen Metzger in second place. He's coming across the line right about now.
There goes the checker.
And Celie Adams will bring up the rear of the field in third. And Terry decided to stay on the track there and put her another lap down. That's just cold.
That's excessive is what that is.
So I'll conclude Heat 1 of the day for the Kid Karts. Up next.
I'm not sure Pavlones is going to slow down. It looks like he's content to do some hot lapping here.
You know, if I was him, I'd never get off the track. So that concludes Heat 1.
We actually had an issue on the pit entry. That would be the number 10 of Owen Metzger, actually. He ran into the protective tire wall on the sharp right-hand entry into the scaling area.
Yeah, these skid karts, they're just having a little bit of trouble getting these skids to slow down and mind the flags here.
But that's exactly what this category is for, a learning experience for all these young kids.
Yep.
As they can get these types of incidents out of their system as they go on to race more powerful and faster karts.
Yeah, better to get them out of the way at about 10, 15 miles an hour than at 50, 60 miles an hour, right, Nelson?
Very true, very true. So, next up, we have Briggs Cadet, which will be,
I think it's Yamaha Rookie is the next class that should be up. Yep, Yamaha Rookie will be the next class up. They'll be taking the green flag here shortly. We have 4 karts in this class, Nelson.
Yes, which seems to be a lot more than we had last time. That would be the number 66 of Isaac Westerhoff, number 10 of Ari Goodwin, number 7 of Easton Smith, and the 22 of Jack Moore.
Yeah, this is always this is one of the classes I've been looking forward to watching, Nelson, because they have such a difference in speed. It's kind of fun to watch them catch each other and put each other a lap down. There's about 2 drivers, I think, in this class, if I recall, to have a chance at really putting the hammer down and winning it.
Yeah, so if you can hear that in the background, they're off. They just fired the engines on the back straight now. They will take 1 lap around to warm up, I believe, or do they throw the green immediately? No, that's 1 warm-up lap, right?
Yeah.
I was getting mixed up with the kit kart for a moment. So I have 1 instance here to go around the track in formation, maybe get some heat in their tires, and then we will be underway for Yamaha Rookie Heat number 1, or well, the only heat, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll call it the pre-final. How about that?
All right, pre-final. That's more appropriate, yeah.
They're coming out of turns 3 and 4 now, and they will get the green flag, and they're heading down into turn 1,
Nelson.
Nelson.
4 wide, and it looks like the 22 of Jack Moore went from dead last to the lead in an amazing
we got a battle
move.
for second.
And already number 7 of Easton Smith is challenging for second. Did not look like he was able to get it done, as that's Isaac Westerhoff, I believe. That's Isaac Westerhoff that holds out for second, but he's got Easton Smith, the number 7, right on his tail.
They are battling hard for that second position as they head down into turn 3 and 4. He's looking to the inside right now. Couldn't get the job done. He's still trapped behind the number 6 of who is that out in front? Nelson?
Jack Moore is the number 60. Jack Moore is 22. He's the leader. Isaac Westerhoff is the 66 in second. Quite the gap between them. But it's Easton Smith right on the tail of Isaac Westerhoff in that battle for second. And meanwhile, it looks like Ari Goodwin in the number 10 is actually closing up.
Easton Smith just made a move to the inside. Oh, and we got a spin.
That would be the 66 of Isaac Westerhoff as he is off. The caution was out, but it looks like they're not going to slow this race. We are green again.
So the race continues on, and Easton Smith will grab that second spot. In third place, it is now Ari Goodwin.
Yes, Ari Goodwin in third, and it would appear that Isaac Westerhoff, after starting on pole, has tumbled all the way back to dead last. He's still on track, though, so at least that young driver hasn't retired yet.
Jack Moore continues to lead here, and he's gotten loose a few times off of turn 4, really pushing that kart to its limit, Nelson.
Yeah, definitely. And we actually just got the halfway to go. If this first half of this race is anything to go by, we're going to be in for quite the treat. Although they have spread out by quite a bit.
Things seem to have calmed down for now, but Moore has caught lap traffic. Will this allow Easton Smith to close in on him?
I'm not sure. There might not be enough time or enough laps left for this. All he's got to do is just take things easy and bring it home. But knowing how young these drivers are, it would not surprise me in the slightest if Moore tries to do something to get around him.
Moore, he sees that Isaac is being shown the blue flag.
And
he
around
makes
the inside, he gets around him. One kart a lap down at this point in the race now.
It's actually a good thing he got around him, Nelson, because Easton Smith was closing in slowly, and now he'll have to catch that lap kart and get around him. So hopefully Jack Moore is able to keep that gap now that he's gotten by the lap kart. Oh, and a spin again!
2 laps to go. Easton Smith is almost collected by Isaac Westerhoff. But Easton Smith, quick on his toes, is able to get around him, and Westerhoff is rolling again.
Westerhoff is having a hard time in turn 4 here today. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go for our leaders.
And it would appear that Jack Moore, the number 22, will bring it home for the victory here in the pre-final for Yamaha Rookie.
Second will be Easton Smith. Third, Ari Goodwin. And then fourth will be Isaac Westerhoff. That'll conclude the pre-final for Yamaha Rookie here, and it was an exciting race, Nelson.
Yeah, usually you don't see that in these lower Yamaha classes, so very, very thrilling race.
So we had a couple spins there, and I was analyzing Jack Moore there a little bit. He got really loose off turn 4 1 or 2 times. Maybe that turn is a little slicker than it was previously here, as guys and girls seem to be having troubles with it here today.
Yeah, and it would appear that Isaac Westerhoff would have issues in turns 1 and 2. Midway through the turn, that kart looked like it would want to shoot out from under him and almost ride into the barrier. So good job on him. Even though he did finish last, good job on him for keeping that kart going and finishing the race.
Next is Briggs Cadet, and we have Nicholas Peppers and Christopher Jones in this class. James in this class. Just 2 karts here today.
Yes, but these two can sometimes put on quite the show.
They'll get the 1 to go signal here and take the green flag next time around, Nelson.
Nicholas Peppers, of course, the son of Chad Peppers. Interesting to see if he can emulate the success of his father. He is starting on pole for this event.
They work their way through turns 3 and 4, Nelson.
Flagman ready to wave the green. We are ready to go as they come out of 4, and go, go, go. The race is underway.
Down into turn 1, it is Peppers with the early lead. And he'll pull away slightly here as we are underway in the pre-final.
Bit of a wiggle from James coming out of 2 there. Seemed like he was struggling to get the grip down, but I think he's got it sorted.
Peppers continues to lead, continues to gap James as of right now.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing quite some differences in these two. Nicholas Peppers keeps the wheel incredibly straight, kind of arcing through these turns, while it looks as if James is almost fighting the kart, wiggling the wheel, trying to keep it under him.
Yeah, I'd say he has a little bit of an early entry into turn 1 from what I can tell right now.
Yeah, no, what I'm noticing here is almost on exit, whoa, and he almost spun it around in the middle of 1 and 2.
Peppers continues to lead. He's got about a straightaway lead now over James.
By the time this race is done, he may lap his competitor of Christopher James, but still have a few laps, still have quite a ways to go yet.
Christopher James is just sending it in to turn 1 every single time. It's fun to watch. Not exactly fast, but it's fun to watch.
Yep. I think this would be the perfect opportunity for him to almost treat this as a practice session. Maybe experiment with different lines, lift off, points for the throttle, when to get back on, braking and whatnot. Basically an extended practice session for him.
I'm really impressed with Nicholas Peppers here, though, too, Nelson. The smoothness, like you were saying, he has in the steering wheel, getting through the corner. It almost sounds like he is on the throttle all the time as well. So he's doing a fantastic job pulling away right now.
Yeah, and it seems like Christopher James is trying to keep the throttle down all the way, too, but his main issue is just keeping the kart under him. I think that's a combination of perhaps the handling characteristics of that kart and his steering input. He seems very jerky on entry.
And I believe those handling characteristics are probably a result of his early entry into the corner. If he can get that figured out, I believe he'd be right up there with Nicholas Peppers, but as of right now, Peppers pulling away and about ready to lap Christopher James.
Yes, 2 laps to go here, I believe. 2 laps to go. So I'm not sure he's going to have the chance to lap him. But this, of course, is Briggs Cadet. Junior 1, as you may also know it. More of a place for drivers to hone their skills. So maybe next time Christopher James will come back. The better understanding of of the track and how to drive his kart, and he can give Nicholas Peppers a run for his money.
Checkered flag here for Nicholas Peppers, and he'll take the pre-final in Briggs Cadet. Christopher James will come around and take the checkered flag. He almost got put a lap down, but didn't quite.
Almost, which is pretty good, actually, considering how short and fast this track is, to keep himself from getting lapped by someone as fast as Nicholas Peppers. So it's definitely somewhere to start for him.
Yeah. So up next is Yamaha Junior. Charlie Moore and Josh Carlson are the 2 drivers in this class, and they put on quite a show when they race here. So it'll be interesting to watch this race as it begins to unfold. Right now they're taking a little break on track, though, before we send the Yamaha Juniors out.
Yep, the Yamaha Juniors. That will be Charlie Moore in the number 11 on pole position, with Josh Carlson alongside him in the 36.
If you're listening to the broadcast now, go ahead and give us a like on YouTube, subscribe, follow us on Facebook at QC Radio Kart. Glad you're listening here to race 3 of the summer series at Davenport Kartway.
It's a beautiful day here. Cool, sunny. The sun is being set. If you're listening live and happen to be in the area, come on out to the Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds for the features tonight. And it would appear that our karts are now rolling. Bit of a quick outlap, as it were, for these 2. Man, they are quite eager.
Yeah,
really tearing it up on the warm-up lap here.
Need to get slowed down here. Charlie Moore's on pole. Josh Carlson in the second. They're going to send him around one more time. They're going just a little bit too fast to get him lined up the way they wanted to, Nelson.
Yep, these 2 seem very excited to get underway here. Let's see how that translates onto any on-track battles between these 2. Coming out of 4, and green flag is in the air. Who is that?
Josh Carlson has taken the lead here early.
There are no numbers on that card.
And our good friend Carter Bees has just showed up. So David Cole is going to get us set up here to improve our broadcast here in a little bit.
Meanwhile, Josh Carlson still leads after getting that tremendous outside run on the start. Charlie Moore is not going to go away quietly, as it seems like he's keeping that gap fairly consistent, even though he seems to scrub off a tiny bit of speed coming out of 2.
Yeah, Charlie Moore just trying to keep up with Josh Carlson at this point. Doesn't quite have the speed at the moment, I don't think. And the gap has stabilized for now, but you got to believe that that fire-off speed needs to be a little bit better if he wants to compete later today.
An interesting note here watching these 2 compete you can really see how Josh Carlson is so relaxed in the lead, whereas Charlie Moore is almost leaning on top of his wheel, really fighting through the corners.
Yeah, he's really fighting that Kart, Nelson, working extra hard to get the speed out of it, and Carlson is just relaxed and almost on a Wednesday evening drive pulling away.
Yep. That gap is still fairly consistent, actually. I'm not wondering if Charlie Moore had gotten a better start, if they would be a lot closer in battling at this moment.
Oh, he got real loose off turn 4. Almost clipped the tires there, Nelson. That's Charlie Moore, and he lost a big chunk of ground that time.
The tire. There is a tire in the middle of the track, and we have a regional caution, as it were, to clean that up.
And Moore just got black flagged for clipping that tire. And that will effectively end the race for Charlie Moore. So Josh Carlson just has to bring it on home, and he will win this pre-final.
Yep. So, yeah, just Josh Carlson here on track, really. No numbers on that Kart, although he is listed as being the 36. Just has to bring it home now.
You know, Moore just got a little bit loose off the exit of that corner and just barely clipped the tire. And you have to hopefully it didn't do any damage to his Kart.
Yeah.
Unfortunate it ended the racing battle here for the time being.
Yeah, so I'm all for enforcing the rules. don't hear any audio. Oh shit. Okay. That's not it, is it? I don't think that's it. I don't hear any audio. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Gap is about the same now still. Bryce Shaw leads.
That's
Kayla
not it,
Carlson
is it?
in second,
I don't
with
think so.
Logan Graham right behind her. Few laps to go still. This might be how it ends.
Oh shit.
Okay. Might be having some technical issues. Gap is about the same now still. Bryce Shaw leads.
That's
Kayla
not it,
Carlson
is it?
in second,
I don't
with
think so.
Logan Graham right behind her. Okay, we're good. Okay. All right, folks. Apologies for any awkward pauses there. But yeah, the Briggs Junior race has almost concluded here with Bryce Shaw leading over quite a ways to Kayla Carlson. Logan Graham is all over the back of her. Checkered flag is out. Bryce wins, followed by Kayla Carlson and Logan Graham bringing up third. So they will be entering the pits as this pre-final has wrapped up. Next, I believe we will have Briggs Senior on track. And then Yamaha Cadet with Yamaha Senior wrapping up the pre-finals before we go into the features tonight. You can hear the Briggs Senior in the staging area. And they are off in their warm-up lap here. We have Gage Kemp in the number 44 on pole with Chad Peppers in the number 18 to his right. Quentin Fishlane will be in the number 24 behind Kemp with Joshua Skelly in the number 14 to his side. Michael Welsh will be on the inside of the third row with John Shaw in the 94 there to his right. Ken Brosh, I believe, will be in the 40, and looks like we're having some trouble getting lined up here. Yeah, that was quite confusing, although we are lined up now, taking an extra parade lap, as it were, but we will be racing now as they enter 3, coming out of 4. Flagman has the flag. He is waving it, and the 75 gets a jump on the inside, right around the 24 and 94, alongside of Skelly in the 14. Not able to get done. Skelly into third. Meanwhile, Kemp and Peppers were side by side all around, with Kemp taking the lead, and caution as Skelly in the number 14 is out with another cart. It looks like he took with him. Looks like we are under a full course yellow, I believe, here. Skelly would appear to be out of his cart. He might be able to get rolling again here. He seems to be checking his side pod, I believe, to make sure it's okay. If this order as of now is anything to go as, we have Kemp in second with Quentin Fishlane in the... I'm not sure what we're doing yet. Give us a moment while we sort this out, folks. Seems to be a confusion here, actually. They are stopped on the front straight.
You took my spot. You had to take over. Sorry, Joe, but this has to be done.
We will update you when we understand what in the hell the running order is, folks. I believe we're going to be restarting this race, actually. Or, well...
John Shaw got the black flag for hitting the tire there.
All right. I did see they had the black flag out. I could not tell who that was for, though.
I don't think, actually, it was for one of them, I believe, but they both went off track, both Joshua Skelly and John Shaw.
Which is a real shame, because I was expecting big things from Skelly tonight.
Yeah, I was over there watching, Nelson. I saw a cart sideways in the middle of the track, and I immediately thought, oh no. That turn 4 seems to be kind of a trouble spot for everybody tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Not sure if it's slippery there, if there's bumps, but we are rolling again. I I think they're going to take a lap to get sorted here. With these carts pulling off, are they going to bother restarting this, or are they just going to go with how they were running before this came out?
I think they're going to go with the running order as it was before the caution came out.
Green flag is out, and Gage Kemp gets a slight run, but Pepper's around. Welsh is pushing him in the 75. Kemp leads, but by a nose. Pepper's inches ahead into 3. Gage with the inside line.
Oh, Pepper's
on the inside now with Welsh pushing him. Welsh up to second. Kemp down to third, maybe to fourth, alongside the 24 with the 24 on the inside. Meanwhile,
Kemp is going backwards, and he's stuck on the outside. He's got nowhere to fall in
Welsh
line.
around the inside of Peppers there for the lead. New race winner. Meanwhile, Kemp is almost all the way in the back with Ken Broch in the 40 trying to get around him.
Oh, Peppers to the lead. Oh, and Michael Welsh with the crossover move. They are battling hard for that top spot.
Even all the way in the back, Broch still trying to get around Kemp.
Peppers back to the inside of Michael Welsh, Nelson. They are not stopping. Another crossover move. Welsh is back to the inside of Peppers.
Meanwhile, the 24 of Quentin Fishline is sitting in the middle of this while the battles take place behind him. But it looks like Kemp is about to grab him for third.
I tell you what, Welsh and Peppers better start working together. Otherwise, Kemp's going to move up to third and catch both of them, and then there'll be a third cart in the mix.
Fishline there as they went into 3. I think he's going to be pushing them as they go into 1 as well. Welsh with the lead. It would appear that Peppers kind of got into the back of him. Welsh has a very slight lead over Peppers, but knowing how resourceful Peppers could be, this could change in a few laps yet.
Peppers is
Fishline got a bit fishy there through 1 and 2, as it looks like Broch almost tried to go down his inside.
There's about a half a cart length separating Peppers and Welsh now as they work through turns 1 and 2. Welsh with the lead at the moment, and he's almost beginning to pull away a little bit, Nelson.
Yeah, Welsh seems to have an advantage on the straights almost, but it seems like Peppers can get through the corners a bit better, but almost bogs down on exit. Meanwhile, in the back, you still have Broch in the 40 bringing up the rear on the tail of Quentin Fishline in the 24.
I tell you what,
Actually, Broch around Fishline for fourth now. That is the closest battle on track. Those two are nose to tail.
Tell you what, earlier in the race, our two leaders were just swapping the lead back and forth, crossover move after crossover move, and they were not willing to give it up.
Flag man is out again. 2 laps to go this time. Welsh leads with quite a margin over Peppers.
Gage Kemp is back in third. The battle is for fourth position
between Fishline and Broch, but it looks like Fishline is going to take it over Broch, as it's now almost a 3 or 4 cart length gap between the 24 and 40.
White flag is in the air, 1 to go for Michael Welsh, and he'll probably get it here as long as there's no mistakes on the final lap.
The battle for fourth is still the closest thing on track here, but I think Fishline is going to get it as they go into 3.
Checkered flag. Michael Welsh will win the pre-final here at Davenport Kartway, followed by Chad Peppers, Gage Kemp. Then fourth is Quentin Fishline. Fifth is Ken Broch.
Which I'm not wondering if Kemp's issue was actually improper gear ratio. I think I heard that cart fluttering on the limiter into turns 1 and 3. We're going to go to a quick break here as
And we are back after a hardware upgrade, folks. We are rolling here for Yamaha Cadet. Green flag is out. Casey Williams in the 554 was on pole with Branson Bedingfield, and I can't tell what number that is. Bedingfield getting loose through 2 on the start of the preheat here, pre-final. My bad.
And there is a big gap between first and second now as we are off and rolling in the pre-final. Almost a half a straightaway lead already for Casey Williams.
Yeah, this Bedingfield doesn't seem like he can keep the cart under him. He keeps getting squirrely through the turns here. Casey Williams is tearing it up, just throwing it into these corners.
It's interesting to watch these karts as they go through turn 1, Nelson, with the bump over there. It just upsets them a tiny bit. Casey Williams, as he goes through, very steady hands, but Mason Benningfield, he's got kind of wild hands as he goes through there. Has to slow down a lot to get the kart to turn.
Branson Benningfield does certainly seem to have wild hands, but he also seems to be turning in incredibly early, taking a very sharp line compared to the race leader, Casey Williams.
They work through turn 1. Casey Williams setting him up for a pass here to put him a lap down. He'll go ahead and complete that pass over in turns 3 and 4. Oh, no, he didn't quite complete it.
Almost. Here they come on the front straight, and he gets the move done, putting his competitor 1 lap down.
So Casey Williams now a lap ahead of his one and only competitor here today.
Yes, quite the drive from Williams. Even though he isn't really being threatened by Benningfield, he is still driving like there's no tomorrow, throwing it in, keeping his hands steady, really showing what he can do here.
I think that kind of shows you some of the experience that Casey Williams has racing at the higher levels of karting, perhaps, and really honing his skills in.
Yes, but of course, Yamaha Cadet. This would be one of the lower series, my bad, lower classes. Still a area for these drivers to hone their skills and learn how to drive these karts.
That is 100% correct. Benningfield really burped it over there in turns 1 and 2. Don't know if he had a problem or just kind of throwing in the towel. He's really slow on track.
Yeah, it could be just trying different lines at this point, knowing that he is now 2 laps down to his competitor. Seeing what he can learn for next race, perhaps.
And Casey Williams, he's fun to watch around that corner. He just throws it in there, doesn't he, Nelson? He really gets all he can out of the kart.
Yeah, and you can hear his tires squealing as he enters the turn, but yet he still keeps it relatively safe, showing that he has superb control of his kart.
White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go for Casey Williams, and this will just about end the pre-final here as he comes out of turn 4 of the oval. Checkered flag. Casey Williams will win the pre-final here at Davenport Kartway.
And that wraps up the...
Benningfield just got real loose off turn 4.
And that would be the cool-down lap. It's interesting. Usually don't see that type of thing happen.
Flagman didn't wave the checkered flag for Benningfield there, so I'm kind of wondering if he knows to pull off track here. It looks like he's slowing down, so looks like he knows to pull off track.
I think he gets it now. Anyways, one more race, folks. We have Yamaha Senior before our preheats wrap up for the night. After this brief intermission, I believe, then we will be on to our finals.
This Yamaha Senior class is going to be real fun to watch. Michael Welsh, Brant Carter, Chad Peppers, Dustin Bloom, and Mike Dittmer on the slate to compete in this race.
Yep, and that is your starting lineup, as quick as that was, Joe. But yeah, that's Michael Welsh in the 75 on pole position with Brant Carter to his outside in the 24. Chad Peppers will be starting third on the second row in the number 18 with Dustin Blom to his right in the number 4. Mike Dittmer brings up the rear. That will be fun to watch him charge through this field in the number 77. We'll get a warm-up lap, perhaps 2. They look to be very fast here. Actually, no, they are now slowing down. So here we go as they enter 3,
in order
out of 4. Looks like they've got it sorted. Entering 4. Flagman has the flag in his hand, and we are underway for the preheat here.
They're going to send him around one more time. Too fast, Nelson.
Yep. What is it with these Yamaha drivers tonight? They really seem eager to get going.
Now they're lined up. I think they've got them slowed down to where they want them now. They should get the green flag this time by.
Yep, I've usually only ever seen them wave it off once here. And we are green.
Oh, great push on the outside. But
Welsh has the lead. It looks like Peppers has squirreled his way into second. Dittmer is now gone up to fourth, and looks like he's going to try and take third.
Oh, 3 wide.
Number 4 was on the inside, but he took a step back. Dittmer gets around his competitor of the, who the hell is that? The
Dustin Bloom, is that?
Blom, the number 4. Dittmer up to third now, with Blom skating around the inside of Brant Carter. Meanwhile, Michael Welsh doing what he did in the Briggs Senior, where he's pulling away now. Dittmer around the inside of Peppers for second position. He really drove that in deep in turns 1 and 2. Peppers is not going to let him go as he's right on his tail.
Well,
he's going to try and get that position back.
Welsh has pulled out to a huge lead right now, but Dittmer in second. You got to believe he may have the speed to reel him in, but he's got to have Peppers work with him if he wants to do that.
On the topic of Peppers, Dustin Blom is right behind him trying to fight for third there, and Brant Carter in the 24 ready to pick up any positions if they get into each other.
The battle is for second right now because Welsh has a huge lead, and then it's second, a little bit of a gap back to third where they're all battling for that spot. That's Peppers, Bloom, and Carter back there battling for that spot.
Michael Welsh
got something flying on the back of his cart, Nelson, like the chain guard came off.
Yeah, and something flopping around there, although that doesn't really seem to be hindering his speed. He's really right on the tail of Dustin Blum, who is right on the tail of Chad Peppers. Trail of carts, position 3 through 5th here.
Well, it seems like they've kind of equalized out their positioning on track for now. Brant Carter with an issue at the back of the field. You got to believe that's hindering his speed with that chain guard flopping around like
before
that.
I said it wasn't, but I think it is now. He seems to have dropped off. And I'm not wondering if they've picked up more speed or if Dittmer's lost speed, because that train of 3 carts has caught Dittmer now.
Peppers is there, and he may have a shot to make the move before this thing's over. This time by, he'll be coming.
2 laps to go, and Michael Welsh has a monster lead over his competitors. Peppers is on the back of Dittmer, right on the back, contact into 1. They keep it together. Peppers on the inside, going into turn 3 of Dittmer. He gets it done, it looks like, but Dittmer might try and get back. White flag for Welsh.
Crossover move.
Dittmer on the inside, going into 1. He gets second.
Another crossover move. Watch out from the 4th place cart. Bloom is there.
Peppers has got second. He dove down the inside. Checkered flag is out.
Contact.
Dittmer, too wide. Peppers still has the position, though. What a race.
That was a spectacular race to watch. Peppers and Dittmer just putting on a show, and it allowed the 2 behind them, Bloom and Carter, to really close in and have a shot to possibly contend.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, Welsh obviously had that wrapped up with his almost half a straightaway lead, but as far as for the rest of the 4 of those competitors, all up for grabs, nose to tail, all 4 of them.
So we're going to go ahead and allow our friend Carter Pease to join in the broadcast here. Carter, we know you've got a big weekend coming up. Have you gotten your cart all set up for MRP yet?
Oh, absolutely. We got it all scaled, ready to go. Everything's all lined up. The front end's great. The engine's ready to go. We got the gear ready. So all we got to do is just load up the trail, and then we'll be ready to go all the way out to MRP at South Bend, Indiana.
That's awesome. And how badly do you wish you were out here racing tonight?
Pretty badly. I wasn't able to make the second race either because of Route 66 race over in Elkhart, Wisconsin. Not to be confused with Elkhart, Indiana. That race is actually coming up pretty soon, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, weekend of August 8th, I believe.
Weekend of August 8th. But yeah, this was at the Road America track, and it was a lot of fun there. And I unfortunately wasn't able to race here because we were prepping up for that. So yeah, I would have loved to make the second race, and especially this race as well. Haven't had much oval experience, so it would have been cool to try something a little bit different. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to all the opportunities that I get to race.
Yeah, so on that topic of oval racing, what type of history do you have with oval racing? Have you ever done anything remotely like this?
I have done dirt oval before.
Really?
Yes, I have done dirt oval before, which was way different from asphalt. And also, I have done asphalt oval before because 61 Kartway did run like a special race for their midseason championship, I believe, one year back in like 2012, 2013. They did a couple oval races, which is definitely different. Uh, and like it changes your setup too because you want to do offsets a little bit, have your weight on the corners a little bit different, maybe like different stagger on your wheels, and so it's a lot different from like regular asphalt road course stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of throttle time, you could say, on asphalt oval racing, which leads to a lot of the bump and run sort of deal. When can we expect to see you up at 61 next?
That's a good question, actually. Probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'll be up at 61 again in the 206 class, ready to go.
Well, it'll be great to see you again. Going real quick back to the oval racing. So aside from how different that is, would you say oval racing is something that you find enjoyable?
I don't know. I grew up on road courses, so I always have a special place for road courses in my heart. So, I would have to say no. If I did it all the time, I think I would get almost a little bored in a sense because oval, you're just turning one direction. I know that's like a common stigma for NASCAR and stuff like that. I prefer to turn both left and right. It's just a little more fun. And then like, yeah, I think it's like a different beast. They're both require a lot of skills in many ways, but I think I'd prefer road course over oval.
Yeah, no, agreed. Not one isn't necessarily like better than the other. They're just okay. I can see that look on your face. You want to argue that, don't you?
No, I don't.
If I could
Yeah.
describe them, I would have to say oval racing is more the battle with your competitors.
Yeah.
And in road course racing, you also have to battle your competitors, but you also have to battle the track a lot more.
That's actually probably the best way to put it. Oval racing is definitely settled driver to driver, whereas road course is settled driver versus track mostly. Because with oval racing, you're always a lot closer with your competitors. You're bumper to bumper almost all the time because it's such a smaller track. Especially like if you look at 61 versus like the oval at 61, that would be like your standard size for an oval. When it comes to like a karting oval race, and versus that road course, yeah, it's definitely gonna be a lot closer, a lot more driver interaction, I would say.
I know this isn't happening around here at all, but any interest in getting in a road racing kart?
A road racing kart like what WKA does?
Yeah.
Oh, at the big tracks, I would love to. Like especially like if I were to go to like Road America or Daytona for Kart Week, if I were to race on the big track there. They also have some races at like Skip Barber over in Alabama, I believe, Barber Motorsports Park.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Alabama. And yeah, they have them all around the country, and I would definitely like to do that a lot.
Saw a video from Gateway a little while ago, and they had the animal class going around the big track, and it was pretty badass to watch. So I think that's a bucket list item I would have to agree about getting into at some point. You gonna do some play-by-play for us today?
Absolutely. Just give me the mic. I'm ready to go.
All right. Who do you want to replace for one of the races? Me or
Oh
Nelson?
wow.
We'll change.
Making
back
us
and
choose,
forth.
I
I'll have
see.
you guys rock paper scissors over that.
No.
We'll change
What?
back and forth. One of us will sit out, then the other one will sit out. It'll be like a
Okay.
three-man rotation.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Let's go to a break first. This break is sponsored by let's look at one of the signs over there. Sponsored by H&H Towing.
We are in no way affiliated with H&H Towing.
All right.
We are getting ready to go for the kid kart race here. I'm joined by Carter Pease.
Oh, yeah. All right, so on pole, we got Thierry Pavlonis in second place. We got Owen Metziger, and Seeley Adams is in third. They're doing a standing start, and green flag is underway.
This three-wide start is quite something to watch as they all funnel their way down into turn one. It looks like it's
Owen Metziger. Nope, actually, it's Seeley Adams in first, followed by Owen Metziger, and then Thierry Pavlonis in third, looking to go into second, but not able to get the move done.
she's been getting off to some pretty fast starts today, and then she kind of loses speed the further we go into a run. As they enter turn one, way to the high side, trying to get the lead.
Thierry Pavlonis goes around the outside of Seeley Adams and takes the lead there.
Back in third, it is Owen Metzger. We saw him make a late charge in the pre-final to overtake Seeley Adams. We'll see if he can do the same here today in the final.
Thierry Pavlonis pulling away at a rapid rate over the next two competitors here of Seeley Adams and Owen Metzger. It looks like it's going to be a good battle for second place all the way through, as it looks like Owen's gaining ground on Seeley.
Yeah, Seeley's just kind of her corner entry suffers just a little bit, and that's where Metzger closes in. But the corner exit for Metzger, this time he got a pretty good run. He was struggling in the pre-final with it. We'll see if he can possibly make a pass here quickly on Seeley Adams and get by.
Yeah, but it's so funny. You see them come off the corner. Oh, Thierry Pavlonis gets sideways in turn one and loses a bunch of time.
This could allow Seeley Adams to get to the first position. She has a lot of momentum. Thierry Pavlonis gets going again, though.
Yeah, as we were talking about second and third place there, Thierry Pavlonis has a lot of history here within the past few weekends. He spins out almost every time going into turn one, whether it's oval layout or the road course layout. I think he just gets on the brakes too hard to slow down, and then the rear end goes all the way past the front and just gets sideways there.
Well, he's figured it out again, and he is now pulled a gap on second place. He is once again pulling away. Seeley Adams just holding on to that second position for right now.
Yep, Owen is still gaining there, but still not gaining fast enough to get to second place as they come out of turn number two.
Oh, he's closed the gap a little bit, though. Looking at a high side, it's like he looks there, but he doesn't quite have the confidence, Carter, to complete the pass going into the corner.
Yeah, and it looks like Seeley's taking a defensive line going into turns 3 and 4, so Owen can't take the inside. He has to go all the way the long way around.
She was looking behind her coming out of turn number 4. I don't know if it was to see where Owen was or she thinks she has a problem, but she's been looking around the track.
And Owen goes around the outside of Seeley Adams going into turn number 3 and completes the move for second place.
And just in time, too, because Thierry Pavlonis is catching these guys, getting ready to put them a lap down. He's about 3/4 of a lap ahead, a quarter of a lap away from putting him a lap down.
Yeah, Thierry Pavlonis in a league of his own here. Every time I see this kid race here at Davenport Kartway, he pulls away from the competition and coasts all the way to an easy win. And you can just see him going into turn 3 and 4 there. He has so much more corner speed than everybody else.
Well, he's certainly driving on the edge, and that's why he's probably gotten known for spinning out, but that's what you got to do to go fast here, Carter.
Yep, and he just goes to the outside of Seeley Adams to lap her down really quickly with no problems whatsoever. Halfway through this race here now, as Thierry Pavlonis is actually over halfway, as the halfway flag was given to Owen Metzger, and Thierry Pavlonis is just under a straightaway behind him, getting ready to lap him down.
Yeah, he's catching him at a high rate of speed. I really thought Metzger would maybe gain a little bit of speed after he got by Seeley Adams, but that would not appear to be the case. And now he's going to look. Pavlonis is looking to the outside of Metzger.
Yep, as they go up down the backstretch to turn number 3, Thierry Pavlonis goes around the outside of Owen Metzger to lap him down real easy, and then he pulls away so much through the corner. You can see why Thierry Pavlonis is so fast. His corner speed, he just has that cart hooked up, ready to go, and he just goes in that corner, and the cart just sticks.
And you got to believe maybe a little bit of that is confidence in his driving ability as well. With these kid karts, they're all at different kind of progressions in their racing career.
Yeah, and even that is happens with age. Like kid karts range from 5 to 8 years old, and you see like these 8-year-olds, like as they have a couple years in the kart, they're just really confident with what the kart can do, and then they just have more confidence in, like versus a kid that's 6 or 7, because a year, like out of 8 years old, that's a big difference. So there's a lot more experience that happens there, and the drivers just can adapt more.
Well, we always preach seat time to anybody new in karting, and at that young age, you're 100% correct. I mean, the more seat time you have, the faster you're going to go, and the faster you're going to feel.
Absolutely. Terry Pavlone is still leading here going through turns 1 and 2. It's kind of an interesting line he takes. He goes wide on the entry and then cuts in at the end of the corner.
Almost like he's diamonding the quarter.
Yeah, I would almost say diamonding for sure because I don't know if he's meaning to do that or that's just how he wants to drive. I don't know if kids that are like 5 to 8 years old think about lines while they're driving rather than just like the gas is the right foot, the brake is the left foot, and the steering wheel's to turn.
Here comes Owen Metzger to put Seeley Adams a lap down in comparison to him, and once again he gets behind Seeley Adams and just not quite the confidence to really pass her, although he might get it done here.
Yep, he does get it done going into turn number 3 down the backstretch there. Owen Metzger puts Seeley Adams 1 lap down in reference to him, although Terry Pavlonis is ready to put them both 2 laps down at this point.
White flag's in the air for Terry Pavlonis, 1 to go as he's putting them another lap down again, Carter.
Yep. And that means it's going to be 1 lap to go for Seeley Adams as well as she was already put a lap down. And
Owen Metzger a lap down here.
Yeah, he gives Owen Metzger the white flag and Terry Pavlonis the checkered flag. And Terry Pavlonis is actually going to lap Owen Metzger after he takes the checkered flag.
He did this in the pre-final. He ran like 4 laps after the checkered flag. We'll see if we can get him to slow down this time after he takes the checkered flag.
Yep, Terry Pavlonis takes the checkered flag for the second time now. Let's see if he pulls into the pits.
Nope, he's gonna keep
He's going to keep on going.
And so is Owen Metzger.
Owen Metzger's going to keep going because he sees Terry Pavlonis still going.
Seeley Adams seems to be the only one on track who's figured out that she keeps going as well.
Yeah, the flagman, Jake Lund, tried to get Terry Pavlonis to stop for a picture with the checkered flag. And he just kept on going by. He slowed down because he was a little confused, but, he just turned the cart around. He's going to take a picture now with the flagman.
I think we're going to get all 3 of these carts in here for a kid cart photo.
Oh, yeah. That's the one rule at Davenport Kartway. When it's a kid cart, every kid gets a picture with the checkered flag. Everybody's a winner.
Everybody's a winner, especially when you're a kid and you're racing go-karts.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome.
I just wish I was racing carts at the age of 5 years old. Holy schmoly.
All right, so we are going to go to a quick break here while pictures getting taken with the kid carts here. We'll be right back. Yamaha rookie.
Okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, subbing in for Joseph Rapp now to announce this Yamaha rookie race is Nelson Jelinski. Welcome back, Nelson.
Hello, we have Yamaha rookie with us here. Yamaha rookie race here. 4 karts here. We have, who is that on pole? That would be the number 22 of Jack Moore.
Jack Moore, Easton Smith in second, and then the number 10 of Ari Goodwin in third, and then Isaac Westerhoff in fourth.
Yeah, 4-kart grid here. They are about to complete their warm-up lap on the back straight. They will be getting the green flag soon, and this race will be, feature will be underway for Yamaha rookie.
All right, as they come and make their way out of turn 4, Jake Lund with the green flag ready to go, looking at the start, make sure the even green flag is in the air, and it's going to be a good start for number 22 of Jack Moore.
Easton Smith falls in line into second, and it looks like Isaac Westerhoff is able to grab third, and Ari Goodwin, in number 10, settles down in fourth.
All right. It is a good, clean start here. Number 22 of Jack Moore still in the lead with Smith right behind him. Smith just maintaining the gap at this point. Maybe he could gain as we go into turns 3 and 4, starting lap 3.
Yep, it would appear that Smith is actually closing on that. Yeah, that used to be a substantially larger gap. I think as this race goes on, we will definitely see Easton Smith on his tail and potentially fight for the lead with Jack Moore.
Smith got great drive coming off turns 3 and 4 as we start lap number 5 here. He's right on the back bumper of Jack Moore as he gains so much time under braking going into turns 3 and 4. He's right on his bumper coming out. He gets sideways coming off turn number 4.
It's not even just the braking. I think Smith is taking a tighter line, it would appear, through these corners, allowing him to catch up. They already have almost half a lap on the number 10 of Ari Goodwin. Isaac Westerhoff in the number 66 is already a straightaway behind them, as we now have a fight for the lead on our hands between Smith and Moore.
Yep. Smith gets loose coming off the corner. He's pinching the wheel too hard trying to get underneath Moore. So we'll have to see if he can adapt and somehow get underneath him without getting the cart sideways. And it looks like they're pulling away steadily from Goodwin and Westerhoff.
Quite the gap now, although they seem to have stagnated. Smith getting quite squirrely out of 4. I think he has the speed. It's just a matter of looking for an opportunity to get around the race leader.
Yeah, he's definitely faster than Moore, but the fact that he gets sideways, it just kills all the momentum down the straightaway. So we'll have to see if he can adapt and then get around Moore cleanly.
Yeah, it's mostly a matter of being too jerky with his steering. Jack Moore is so smooth here, while as Easton Smith seems to really just drag that cart around, especially out of 4, scrubbing off so much with his rear tires.
Yeah, just then again, as you were talking there, he just got so squirrely there, and Jack Moore, got confused with his brother Charlie. Jack Moore's just so smooth. You see one input in, and then he just goes through that corner and coasting. But Smith is right on his bumper going into turns 1 and 2.
Oh, and Smith almost spins out.
Yeah, we are already halfway through this oval race. The night is going by fast. And Smith is all over his back bumper, but just can't get the pass done. And then he gets sideways coming out of the corner, and then he has to gain all that ground back again.
Yeah, he just seems to really get way too excited whenever he's right behind him. Whoa, and that was closed way up. We had a cart spun. That would appear to be the number 66 of Isaac Westerhoff.
Yep, that was Westerhoff spinning out and causing a full course caution here, so we're going to have to line back up. And it's going to be a shootout with about 6 laps to go between Smith and Moore.
Yep, Easton Smith is just going to have to keep the cart under him, not get too excited. I think he can do it. He just really has to keep it under him coming out of these corners.
All right, so I think it's going to be a single file restart here.
Yep.
It looks like the drivers are actually trying to go double file, but it's not the rules here. I think at the drivers' meeting they specify that single file restarts after caution.
Seems to be some misunderstanding here as to how this is supposed to work out.
Westerhoff just blew by the leaders, so Kevin Williams is coming out onto the track now to show them what way to go here.
All right, I think we have got this sorted. Believe we're going to have the green flag this time.
Nope, we will not have the green flag this time around because they're not lined up quite yet. But it is going to be a double file restart. We'll see if Smith can keep it on the outside.
We'll have Jack Moore on the inside in the 22 with Easton Smith to his right. With the 2 lap carts right behind them.
Actually, no, we're trying to go single file here. There's so much confusion with the drivers. They don't understand how to go single file after the restart. If it was specified in the driver's meeting, they should know that this is supposed to happen.
Yamaha rookie. These drivers are quite young, so any confusion is probably understandable for these young drivers. One more time around at least. Mr. Williams is on track now, telling them how to line up.
All right, now he told them.
Okay.
Yep, yeah, now he told them. He got it all sorted out. They're going to go single file now.
I was afraid Westerhoff had stalled there. He seemed stopped on the track for, oh my gosh.
Yeah, the kids are going too fast now that they're not able to get lined up. The leader just took off.
Yes, we can hear him yelling
Yep.
all the way from our table here. Hopefully they can get this sorted out and we can get back to racing soon.
Yep. Yeah, now they're telling the leaders to slow down here. They're going too fast on this pace lap still.
Still too fast.
They just don't understand how to do a caution here.
All right. Oh my gosh.
And now the fact that they slowed down, now they're lined up double file again. These kids just don't understand.
Well, it would not surprise me if they end up just stopping these, having them turn off the engines here and telling them what to do.
Yep, they turn off the engines now.
They're stopped. Surely someone's going to stall and they'll have to...
Yep. Yep, now they're explaining as they stop the engines here, they're going to get them started up again, and then we'll have to restart.
All right. Got a nice breeze on hand. Seems to be wreaking havoc on our keeper of notes. Excuse me.
All right, so now they got them all lined up, and they're going to get them restarted here as we get to keep going after this caution.
Yep, I think they're finally going to have this worked out. If they're not ready to go after this, I think I'm going to give up on it.
Yeah, at this point. Yeah, we got parents out there now. They're explaining the rules of how single file starts work. It's one thing that you see, though, in the drivers' meetings, especially, the kids just don't seem to pay attention, and it seems to be the parents paying attention more. I think there has to be more communication with the race director to the drivers. The adult drivers and like the junior drivers, like the 12 to 15-year-olds, pay attention, but like what gets to like those 8 to 12-year-olds, and then the kid carters, they just don't understand some of the rules and things like that. And it looks like we're going to get a green flag straight away here. The green flag is in the air with Jack Moore coming in the lead with Easton Smith right behind him. Easton Smith on his back bumper. Those two both pull away from Goodwin and Westerhoff right away.
Yeah, it looked like Easton Smith really took a look at Moore, but wasn't able to get it done.
Yeah, he's going to take a look on the outside.
Looks like he's catching up with them again here.
All right. I don't know if anybody has any track of what lap we're on, but we'll just see what happens.
But they had already waved the halfway flag before. My understanding that they don't count the yellow flag laps here, so I would imagine maybe 8-10 laps to go perhaps.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the rule is for how many laps per oval race here. It's a little bit higher than the actual road course because it's a shorter track.
I believe it's 30 for a feature here.
How many, 30?
Yeah.
Wow, 30 is a lot.
But it's only about a 12-second lap time. So,
Okay.
It's a lot shorter than it sounds.
Gotcha. All right, so it looks like Easton Smith is getting some time back on Jack Moore here, first and second. He's getting on his back bumper here, but he gets loose once again. What he does is like he gets through the corner. He gains so much time on Jack Moore that he thinks he can cut underneath, and when he gives that extra steering wheel input, it just unloads the left rear tire and just kicks his kart sideways.
Yeah, pretty much. He just thinks he has all this momentum and can redirect it instantaneously, and no, it doesn't work that way. He has fallen quite a ways back now. This really looks like it's going to be Jack Moore's race to lose here as we get the 2 to go.
You have 2 laps to go as they go through turns 1 and 2. Jack Moore still leading Easton Smith. Smith still staying within striking distance. We'll have to see if he can make a move within the last couple laps here. He almost gets loose coming off of 4, but maintains it. White flag is out. They go through turns 1 and 2. Jack Moore coming off of turn 2 with good drive.
Smith has closed up, but it doesn't look to be enough.
detail, but not enough. And Jack takes the checkered flag and wins the feature here for Yamaha Rookie.
And it's a good battle here for third, as it looks like Goodwin's at third. Side by side to the line is going to be Goodwin. Goodwin gets third over Westerhoff.
Just by about under a cart length. They were almost side by side as they took the checkered.
And that is Jack Moore with the victory.
Quite an interesting race here for these young drivers, but it would appear that finally, they have brought it home.
Yep. After a very confusing caution period there with the drivers not able to get everything sorted out, we have finally finished this race with Jack Moore first, Easton Smith second, Ari Goodwin in third, and Isaac Westerhoff in fourth.
Yes, and while it may have been annoying to have dealt with that, this is a junior category. So
Yep, 8 to 12-year-olds.
Exactly. So this is part of the reason why we have this category, for these drivers to get this experience with how this stuff is supposed to work.
Absolutely. And then with the Yamaha rookie class, rookie does mean that it's within their first 2 years of racing. So, like, they are very inexperienced in that regard. Whereas if it was the Yamaha cadet class, they do have at least 3 years of experience. And we got Jack Moore taking the checker flag for a parade lap around the oval here, celebrating his victory. A well-earned victory for him. He was able to keep the cart straight and fend off Easton Smith. Easton Smith definitely had the pace to pass him, but he was not able to get around him as he was just getting so sideways off of turns 2 and 4.
Yeah, it would appear that Easton Smith really has a good grip on how to drive the cart. It's just more of a matter of learning how to respond around traffic and handle it in a reasonable manner.
Yep, a round of applause for Jack Moore. And that concludes the Yamaha rookie class. I believe the next class we got coming up is Briggs Cadet, and we will bring that to you after a break.
Not brought to you by any of our unassociated sponsors that Joseph will tell you that are associated with us. All right, very brief break as we now have Briggs Cadet on track.
And it looks like in first we have Nicholas Pepper starting on pole, son of Chad Peppers.
Yep, and it would seem that he has been doing an excellent job at carrying on the success of the Peppers name.
And in second place, starting second, is Christopher James in the Briggs Cadet class. Actually, it's really cool. You can see on Nicholas Pepper's cart, they have like glow-in-the-dark or lit-up valve stem caps on his tires, so you can see them rotating.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. That was actually done in IndyCar in
Really?
the 90s as a form of advertising. Yeah, they would synchronize it with the rotation, so you could have like a advertising logo.
Wow.
It was only done on a few cars for a few races, but green flag, Nicholas Peppers takes the green and gets a jump over his competitor, Christopher James.
Yeah, Christopher James falling behind in second, staying somewhat close here after turn 1 and gaining some ground in the backstretch.
Nicholas Peppers, though, as shown in the heat, is a substantially smoother driver here, whereas James seems to really overdrive it through these corners, getting quite sideways in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, you can see he almost has like too much caster. The front end is too wide, or the rear end might be too narrow as well. He just turns in and then immediately counter steers. That cart just does not want to stay straight going through a corner.
Yeah, which I think it'd make a spectacular two-cycle driver, but you really need to have the smooth hands here with these lower power Briggs engines.
Well, and even with the oval racing too, because lap times are separated by 1-2 tenths. And if you're like 1 tenth faster and you have to gain a whole straightaway, that's not going to happen within the 30-lap race.
Yeah, really, with how long these corners are, this racing here is really more of a momentum game than simply how fast you can get through the corners.
Yeah, especially in these lower horsepower classes, you got to keep that momentum up because they don't want to accelerate as much. And you can even say that for Yamaha too. Yamaha is considered as a lower horsepower engine, so you could so you have to keep the momentum up, and the kart handling through the corners just fine. So all these drivers here have to battle the track and the drivers around them just to stay quick and stay fast.
The LED valve stems on Nicholas Pepper's kart look quite amazing here. It seems that they only have that on the right side rims, as when he's on the other side of the track, they are not visible.
Yep, completing lap what looks like number 7 here. Nicholas Pepper's pulling out to over a whole straightaway lead over Christopher James. So it looks like it's going to be Nicholas Pepper's race to lose, as he is just flying away from the competition.
And he has proved at the last race a few weeks ago and in the heat earlier tonight that he is an incredibly smooth and consistent driver. So I highly doubt he's going to throw this lead away as we come to the halfway point in this race.
Yeah, you could just see him going through the corner there. He has one input in. He wiggles the steering wheel a little bit in the middle of the corner because it looks like he hits a bump. But other than that, it just looks like a smooth and consistent drive from Nicholas Peppers.
Yes, very much so. He now has over a half a lap lead on his competitor, Christopher James.
Yeah, you watch Christopher James through turn 1 here. He turns in and then immediately has to counter steer. It just looks like he's just got an imbalanced kart. It might be just some sort of issue with like weight distribution or something, but his hands are just sawing at the wheel throughout the whole corner. It's just not handling right for him to go faster on this track.
I think an element of this too is that these are Briggs Cadet. These are still very young drivers, and
yeah, the cadet drivers are 8 to 12 years old. I don't know how old these kids are, but Nicholas Peppers does have a decent amount of experience. His dad tries to get him to the track as much as possible to get a good head, like a good head for the game, you know, of racing and trying to stay consistently fast.
yeah, so it might just be a lack of inexperience for Christopher James here.
Yeah, that always plays an issue with these younger drivers. Some drivers drive more than the others, and Nicholas Peppers gets really sideways coming out of turn number 2. It looks like he's trying to gain ground on Christopher James and trying to lap him, and he just kicked it sideways and just held the drift there really well, though.
Yeah, no, he maybe got in about a 45-degree angular slide there, but he was able to hold on to it quite easy as he dives down the inside to lap his lone competitor.
Yep, he laps Christopher James going into turn number 3. Coming out of turn 4 now down the straightaway. We have 2 laps to go for Nicholas Peppers. Cruising to a over 1 lap victory here. What mostly looks like a victory. Hopefully he doesn't throw it away in this last lap here. White flag is out. Going through turns number 1 and 2 smoothly. Nicholas Peppers going down the backstretch and around turns 3 and 4. Nicholas Peppers completing the race with a flawless day here at Davenport Kartway.
And he takes that over Christopher James. You'll probably take the checkered flag in a victory lap, and then what do we have up next?
Yep.
Junior, I believe.
Yamaha Junior looks like it's going to be up next.
Yep. So. All right, and we are back with Joseph Rapp.
I'm back.
Where are you, Joe?
I was out trying to convince people to pack the track on Sunday. Talking to Welsh and Dittmer, and basically, Welsh told me if Dittmer goes, he'll go. So, Dittmer better go. That's all I gotta say.
But then Dittmer said, if I go, Welsh can't be there then, or something dumb like that.
So, yeah, something dumb like that. He also asked me if I had his pocket knife, which I clumsily left here. So, yeah.
Oh, we're going to go on break?
Yeah. We'll go to a quick break here and be back in a moment for some more features.
All right.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with Yamaha Junior here. We're back, and it is Josh Carlson and Charlie Moore getting ready to take the green flag here in the feature event. See who comes out on top here on the initial start, Nelson.
Yep, warm-up lap is complete. They're coming out of turns 1 and 4 a bit fast. We get the green anyways. Side by side into one, and it looks like Carlson takes the lead.
Moore had to hesitate there to fall in line, and it cost him a little bit of time. We'll see if he can stick with Carlson this time, unlike in the pre-final.
It would appear that he is, although for the most part, Carlson did mop the floor with him in the last race. It'll be interesting to see if Moore can stay on him. It looks like so far he is.
Moore's running pretty close. Carlson, though, with a wider arc throughout the corner, gets that run down the straightaway. As they come to the corner, it looks like Moore is able to outbreak Carlson just a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like Moore took a much tighter line inward and like to drift out wider on the exit, carrying a lot more speed out into the turn. Maybe this will work for him.
Moore had a little bit of a tough corner right there. I don't know if the cart just got out from underneath him, lost a little bit of ground. As they come out of turn 4, he's still trying to hunt down Josh Carlson.
Kind of like in the heat here, you get to see how smooth Carlson is, whereas Moore is up on the wheel, leaning forward and really fighting that wheel, trying to get his corners.
I'd say Josh Carlson right now has about a 4 kart length lead over Charlie Moore, would you say, Nelson?
A bit more than that, perhaps, but the gap is definitely growing, as it would appear that Carlson is probably going to extend his gap even further as this race goes on.
It seems as they go into turn 1, from what I noticed, Carlson is really smooth. Moore's kart seems to really hit the bumps hard and just throw him around in the cart.
Yeah, no. It seems like both ends of these tracks kind of have bumps at various parts, and it's really a matter of setting the cart up before you get to that, getting the cart turned before the bumps, so the bumps don't turn the cart.
We are halfway in this feature event, and it is Josh Carlson that continues the pull away from Charlie Moore. As they come out of turn 4, Carlson with the lead.
Yep, the gap is somewhat stagnant, although I would say Carlson has made it grow ever so slightly more. Ever so slightly more over Moore.
Yeah, a lot of racing yet to come tonight. This just start of what we expect to be some pretty good battles later in the evening. Of course, we got the Briggs Senior and the Yamaha Senior class still coming up. Right now, it's Josh Carlson in the Yamaha Junior class pulling away from Charlie Moore.
I think almost Moore might actually be ever so slightly reeling him in.
Yeah, the gap has stabilized for now. I'm not sure if Carlson's just taking it easy and riding around trying to get to the end of this race, or if his kart's falling away from him, or maybe Charlie Moore's kart is coming to him.
Yeah, either way, too little, too late, as I think we only have a few laps left to go here. We'll probably be getting the 2 to go signal in just a few moments here.
Josh Carlson continues to lead. Charlie Moore continues to hunt him down in second place. This time by, it will be 2 to go.
Yep, Carlson is just going to have to hold on. He's got a large enough lead that he could just drive home easily.
White flag in the air this time by for Joshua Carlson. Charlie Moore really pushing, just can't close the gap.
Moore might not be in striking range, but he's not going to go down without a fight. Checker flag is out for Carlson.
Charlie Moore will get the second position. Great battle with those two on the track. Carlson didn't quite mop the floor with him like he did in the pre-final, but
no, he kept that interesting there.
He will get his picture with the checkered flag here.
Or victory lap.
He'll be racing at the Route 66 Sprint Series, I believe, later in the week at MRP. He'll be there along with our friend Carter Pease. So,
Wish them both luck.
up next, we have our Briggs Junior class. This has been a fun class to watch all night, Nelson.
Oh, yes. Very fun. All three of these drivers seem to really have a good grip on this track. It's really mostly a matter of circumstance and opportunity for the three of them.
Bryce Shaw has kind of been the driver of the beat as of late, though, I think we can say.
Oh, yeah. No, agreed.
Kayla Carlson, I'd expect to see her up there challenging for that first spot, though, and you never know. Logan Graham could be right there in the mix as well. Ooh, let the motor die.
All right. Should we go to break for a moment, Joe, or no?
We're getting ready for the Briggs Junior class here, so...
Carter, you want to take over? Yep. All right. All right, now I'll be handing the mic over to Carter Pease.
I'm back.
All right, Carter, we got the Briggs Junior class up next. Who's your pick to win this bad boy?
Briggs Jr. We got Bryce Shaw, Logan Graham, and Kayla Carlson. I wasn't able to see the pre-final. I got here a little late, but I'm gonna have to go with Bryce Shaw. I'm gonna have to go with Bryce Shaw on this one because Nelson keeps telling me in my ear.
I think
They can hear you.
I think Kayla Carlson may be able to pull one out here and beat Bryce tonight. She definitely wants to keep winning here at Davenport. I know she had a winning streak going on until Bryce stopped it a couple weeks ago. So she's probably got a little chip on her shoulder to get the win here tonight.
Absolutely, and it all depends on this start here. If Kayla can get a good run on the outside, I think she can keep Bryce behind her and it eventually get to that win. But hold Bryce off for 20 laps. We'll have to see if, because that's going to be a tough task for anybody.
I almost feel like Logan may be sitting in position to watch the two leaders crash and just go on by.
You know what? That's always an opportunity there for the third place car. We'll have to see. Green flag is up in the air, and they're side by side about to go into turn number one. But it's going to be Bryce Shaw.
Carlson
almost loses second, but able to keep it, and is going to go right to his bumper going through turns 3 and 4.
She has got a fast kart. She's all over the back bumper of Bryce Shaw right now. Her fire-off speed really fast right now. We'll see if she can keep this pace up throughout the race.
Yeah, 20 laps is a tough time to keep a pace in a kart, especially on an oval because those bright side tires get hot. But the night is cooling off. The lights are on, and we are ready to bring the action to you.
Coming off of turn 4, all three karts still under a blanket. Very competitive field here. Kayla Carlson, probably a kart length, maybe a kart length and a half off the rear bumper of Bryce Shaw.
Yeah, Kayla Carlson losing a little bit of ground, but I think she's going to be able to get that in the second half of the race because I think Bryce Shaw may have gone with a little too high of tire pressure because he's getting off to an awful fast start. Usually when you get off to a fast start, you slow down as the race goes on.
Carlson trying to reel Shaw back in. He's opened that kart length lead to probably about 2 karts, but Carlson able to close it a little there.
Yeah, she's able to get down to the apex of the corner really tight to that curb, and Bryce Shaw is not able to get it there. She's gaining time little by little, probably about a half a tenth each time. And we'll have to see if she could get around him because getting to somebody and getting around him are completely different stories here.
How big of a factor is the draft in this case at this track, Carter? Does it play a factor at all?
I wouldn't say it plays much of a factor at all because the straightaways are very, very short. If there was a high wind one way, straight down the straightaway, I think it would because that front cart would be breaking it. But here with a very light breeze on a summer night, I don't think so at all.
Carlson has fallen off the rear bumper a little bit. Bryce Shaw has opened that lead to probably about 4 kart lengths now.
Yeah, it looks like Kayla Carlson got sideways off of turn 4 or turn 2. Something happened there to lose a bunch of time in one lap. And Logan Graham here is falling back from Kayla Carlson as well.
Yeah, they have kind of equalized out about 4 kart lengths in between all 3 of these drivers. Bryce Shaw leading them at the moment. Carlson trying to reel Shaw back in. I think she just had a bad corner because the gap seems to have stabilized for now.
Yep, we just took halfway 1 lap ago. So that means we're starting lap 11 right now.
Oh!
Kayla Carlson still looking good. She's still losing time to Bryce Shaw. I almost called him John because that's the name of his dad, but she's losing time to Bryce Shaw still little by little. Actually, through turns 3 and 4, she's looking really good compared to Bryce. It's turns 1 and 2 that she does not look as fast.
A couple of laps ago, we heard some tires squealing from Logan Graham. He really cooked it going into turn 1. We'll see if he can recover and possibly close the gap to the front 2.
Yeah, it looks like his tires are really losing grip. They might be getting hot, or they could be corded as well, because the way they're squealing seems to be way different than when if a tire had a bunch of grip and a bunch of rubber on it.
Right now, Bryce Shaw continues to lead over Kayla Carlson. It's probably about a 5-kart length lead at the moment. Down into turn 1, Bryce continues to try and stretch that gap. Carlson has stabilized there in 2nd position. Logan Graham has fallen off the tail end of this pack in 3rd position, quite a ways away from the leaders.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Bryce Shaw's race to lose here as he keeps on pulling away from Kayla Carlson. 3/4 of the way through the race here. It looks like the flagman Jake Lund is getting ready to give the 2 laps to go signal.
Yep, this time by, Bryce will have 2 laps to go. As he continues to work through turn 1. Carlson not able to close the gap at all. You got to believe this race may be over. White flag in the air for Bryce Shaw. Through turns 1 and 2. He's got a 5-kart length lead over Kayla Carlson off of turn number 4. Bryce Shaw is going to take the checkered flag here in the feature event.
Kayla Carlson gets 2nd, and then Logan Graham comes in 3rd. A great race here amongst the Briggs Junior class.
Well, that was a pretty fun race to watch. Next race up is the Briggs Senior race.
Yep. Special announcement here after the Briggs Senior race. We have gotten confirmation from Kevin Williams. We will be interviewing the winner after the race is complete.
So I believe Carter is going to be doing that for us, right?
I'll be conducting the interview here. We'll have to see what the action brings us and what the winner or who the winner is going to be.
I don't recall voting on this, but okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. Nelson wants to vote. Nelson, should we?
This is not a democracy. Just saying.
It's not a democracy, Nelson.
Then what the hell is this, Joseph?
This is a racetrack. That's what this is.
Okay. No, Carter probably is the most suited for the interviewing. So,
Well,
yeah.
Yes.
All right, and in that time while I prepare for the interview, I'm going to hand it off to Nelson here as he's going to call the play-by-play with Joseph.
All right, Nelson.
Back, ladies and gentlemen.
So we've had some exciting racing in the Briggs Senior class on this oval. What do you expect here in this feature event?
I think the reoccurring theme, it would appear, is chaos of sorts.
And
we had that in the feature last race. We had that in the heat earlier tonight. So I will not be surprised if we end up having someone or a group of karts getting spun out.
And that chaos, more than likely, is going to happen off of turn 4, it seems like, almost every time.
That's what's been happening. So Michael Welsh will be starting on pole position as number 75 kart. Chad Peppers to his right in the number 18. Gage Kemp in 3rd in the 44. I can't quite make out who that is. I think that's Quentin Fishline in the 24. And, yeah.
Then the 40 kart, I believe, of Ken Broch. The green flag's out.
In the air. Michael Welsh gets a jump. Kemp pushes him.
The
And
front.
it looks like Fishline's going to try and get around Peppers for 3rd contact. They both keep going. And
Oh, Skelly to the inside. What a move.
Skelly gets around Fishline for 4th. Welsh still leads, but Gage is all over his back half.
Gage Kemp all over the back bumper of Michael
Skelly
Welsh.
Spun out. Skelly gets
Oh,
spun out
trouble
by
in turn
Fishline.
2.
All right, I think we have a full course caution here.
Yeah, this is going to breed a 4-course yellow here, Nelson. And Joshua Skelly, you know, the rule is if you spin and bring out a caution in the heat, you're black flag.
All right.
If you spin twice in the feature to bring out the caution, you're black flag. So he's got one more chance
really
here.
Skelly's fault, though. Fishline forced him into that. Fishline tapped him coming out of 2. And
and he just went around.
John Shaw is lining up in the 5th position here. Wanted to give him a quick shout out here after having problems in that heat race earlier. When we restart this thing, it'll be Gage Kemp and Michael Welsh on the front row. Kemp will be on the outside.
Should be single file, although they are lined up two abreast. Might have some confusion here. Hopefully this does not turn into a repeat of that Yamaha rookie race.
Yeah, that race took a while.
Yeah. Okay, and they're stopped on the front straight. Mr. Williams is on the track.
I think they are going to penalize somebody here for contact with Joshua Skelly because
Skelly did absolutely nothing wrong there. That was this fish line getting right into his back.
Skelly came around the corner really mad. He was flying, so I feel like he must be mad or angry about something.
Yeah.
Looks like they're listening to the drivers maybe talk here at the back of the field so that maybe they can assess a penalty.
There you go. Move him up a little bit. All right. Looks like we will have this sorted soon, and we will be en route again to resuming racing.
So with this single file restart, you don't really have to worry about being trapped on the outside, but it could lead to some force.
Fishline has been penalized. He will not be forced to leave the track, but he will be restarting in dead last.
I think that's a fair penalty, Nelson. I mean, there's nothing Skelly could do, and I'm hoping they don't assess that as one of Skelly's two chances.
No. They're saying they applied the penalty to Fishline for spinning Skelly out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But since Skelly spun out and brought out the caution, I'm hoping that one of his two chances isn't used up.
I don't think this counts. Anyways, one more time around, it looks like Welsh will lead. Gage Kemp in second, Chad Peppers in third, and Brosh, I believe, in fourth.
Kemp is all over the back bumper of Welsh.
Fifth, Skelly sixth, and Fishline bringing up the rear.
Green flag is out in the air. Oh, Peppers to the inside of Kemp. What a move. He's going to try and get the spot.
Kemp has the run, but they're still side by side as they dive towards three. Peppers with the advantage, it looks like, coming out of four.
And Kemp back to the inside of Peppers. This is allowing Welsh to pull away.
Gets already next to him.
They're all over each other for fourth position. Skelly's back there.
Pepper gets back around. Gage Kemp. Gage Kemp and Chad Peppers are side by side. Peppers loses it ever so slightly, and Kemp takes second.
Skelly has worked his way up to fourth, Nelson, and he is hunting down the leaders. I think he has the fastest cart here right now.
Very much so. I'm hearing Welsh skid his tires a ton. He seems to be having a hard time keeping that thing straight. Kemp is all over the back of Peppers for second position.
If Peppers and Kemp are smart, they'll work with each other here to try and catch Michael Welsh, who has pulled easily a 5-cart length lead over Chad Peppers in the second spot.
Too late though, as Skelly, it looks like it's caught both of them. Meanwhile, we have a battle all the way back in fifth between Brotch, Shaw, and Fishline. Fishline leading that group.
The question will be, will lap traffic become an issue in this race? The leaders have kind of pulled away and started setting their own pace to the pack behind.
I don't think we're going to have lap carts in this race. Everyone looks to be going pretty quick. So it looks like Peppers is starting to reel in Welsh. Meanwhile, the battle for third is Gage Kemp leading over Joshua Skelly, although Skelly is all over the back of young Kemp.
Welsh's lead is now down to about 2 or 3 cart lengths and still closing.
And we just got the halfway point as Skelly dives to the inside. Skelly has taken the position away from Kemp, but Kemp switches back to the inside going into turn one. Peppers is all over the back of Welsh for the lead.
Skelly to the inside of Kemp for third again. He's going to try and keep that spot.
I think Gage Kemp is going to try a switchback as they go into one, though.
Not enough speed, though.
Not enough momentum. He is on his back. Meanwhile, Peppers is all over the back of Welsh for the lead.
Peppers all over Michael Welsh for the lead position. Will he use the bumper when he gets there? We're about to find out.
Perhaps. We only have less than a third of the race to go. Meanwhile, the battle for fifth is a combination of Fishline versus Shaw. Fishline leading. Brotz brings up the rear.
Chad Peppers all over the back bumper of Michael Welsh. Welsh able to pull a half a cart length gap off turn 2 that time. Peppers reels him back in turns 3 and 4.
Meanwhile, the battle for second has really settled
Oh, he
down.
clipped the inside curbing there, Nelson. Peppers,
Wow.
and he lost about 2 cart lengths when he did that.
Battle for third has totally settled down as Skelly has quite the lead over Kemp. But yes, battle for the lead is where the action was, although Peppers is now quite a few cart lengths behind, though he appears to be reeling him in. Meanwhile, Fishline leads over Shaw, but Shaw just got into his back as they entered 3.
Michael Welsh is still pulling away little by little from Chad
2 laps
Peppers.
to go here.
Peppers is not going to have enough time. Ooh, Kart with the problem.
That's Brotch in the number 40. He was running dead last anyways. Meanwhile, Shaw dives down the inside of Fishline for 5th place. He gets
White
moved
flag, final lap for Michael Welsh as he tries to hold off Chad Peppers for the win.
Chad Peppers looks like he made a last-minute lunge, but was not able to get it done. Meanwhile, Shaw starts the last lap.
Winner for the feature event, Michael Welsh is going to win over Chad Peppers. Skelly 3rd, 4th, Gage Kemp, the battle for 5th. John Shaw's going to get that position.
Wow, now that was quite the thrilling race. These Briggs senior drivers always putting on an excellent show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be having a victory interview from Carter Pease as he interviews Mike Welsh. See what it feels like to win the final race of this 3-race championship series. We'll be handed over to you, Carter.
Thanks, Nelson. All right, so we got Michael Welsh, the winner of the Briggs Senior race here. He's just finishing up his parade lap here with the checkered flag, and then he's going to get an interview with us over here. And we'll just see how his race went. It was a great 30-lap race here with the Briggs Senior, always entertaining us. Looks like Kevin Williams is having everybody else come around here. We'll have to see what's going on here. A little bit of confusion here as they're trying to get, it looks like the top 3 all the way in. They're trying to get the top 3. Looks like they're trying to get the top 3 for a podium picture.
Would it be the top 3 for this race or the top 3 for the champion?
Top 3 for the race.
Yeah. Looks like we got some conflict here because of penalties being assessed, so we'll have to see how that goes as well. Yeah, it's not a Mike. It was I looked like Quentin Fishline was pretty irritated that he had to start last after that incident with Skelly. Tell you what, Skelly's cart was hooked up though. He was looked like he was gaining on the leaders, even like Peppers and Welsh. Peppers was definitely faster than Welsh with the time he gained.
Yeah, definitely. If Skelly would have had track position, he definitely would have been able to make it up there to the lead. Probably had the fastest cart, like you said, Carter. I don't know that you know, he wouldn't have won this race had he not been in that incident.
Yeah, and you know, I actually did see that incident between Fishline and Skelly as it happened.
Yeah.
And really, Fishline did spin him. It was not.
It wasn't a racing incident. You think that Fishline was at fault there?
I mean, I suppose you could maybe argue it was a racing incident, but Fishline could have been a lot more careful.
Well, and the thing you got to remember, this is a 30-lap feature. When these guys are racing that hard on lap 4 or 5 of the race, you got to ask yourself, why is there not maybe a little more give and take? But you know, everybody's
It's hard to tell yourself that when you're like on the track though, because
Yeah.
like you're always under that high pressure. Your adrenaline's up. You got split second to think. You know.
Still, though, even if it is a racing incident, that is not really Skelly's fault for spinning around.
That is true. And I think Skelly could have won that had he not been in that incident, especially Peppers too, because Peppers was in that 5-lap, 6-lap, 7-lap long battle with Gage Kemp. They're going back and forth, slip and slide, dip and dive, you know.
Well, and I have to wonder if Peppers really used his stuff up in that battle trying to get by Gage, because once he got to Michael Welsh, it's like he stalled out and just didn't have anything left to try and pass him.
Absolutely. It looks like we're bringing all the carts back out here. It looks like we might be doing a restart.
Did they maybe get the lap count wrong?
Yeah, it looked like they ended it after 20 laps. It seemed like a premature ending. They might be doing like a 10-lap shootout here. Yeah, they're getting all the carts back out here. It looks like we're going racing again,
So
boys.
we may have had a new life breathed into all these carts in a restart of this race. Well, this is
An interesting turn of events.
unprecedented for sure. You don't see this very often. Not very many times you get a second chance, Nelson, but these drivers are going to get it here tonight.
Yeah, a bit of a developing situation here, it would seem like. Everyone is being, well, mostly everyone for the most part, is being brought back out. I can't really see from here, but we have at least 4 carts out there, it would look like.
The one thing I think that would be a little controversial about this is that stacking the field back up as if we had a caution, which I don't know if that's right because it was Welsh and Peppers definitely with a big lead over third place with Skelly, and Skelly had definitely a lead over Gage Kemp before. So given those drivers that weren't really had a shot to win, they all of a sudden they're back in it now.
The other thing is they were possibly could have caught lap traffic if they got the lap count wrong here. There was a cart probably about a quarter of a straightaway ahead of our leaders. I mean, this completely changes the dynamic of this race.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I'm not even sure what exactly is happening here, but you say it seems like they ended the race prematurely?
That's what it seems like happened.
It did seem awfully short. It seemed like we only did about 20 laps there, like what the rookies and juniors were doing, and like the cadet drivers. It just seemed like it wasn't actually 30 laps. It seemed really, really fast. I think it was about 10 laps short. We'll have to see if we can get confirmation on that.
Well, and the big problem is they don't have timing and scoring here. It's all done by hand. So, I mean, it gets really complicated really fast. We know from the Davenport Kartway days, Nelson, there were races where we ran over the number of laps that we were supposed to run.
Although, so you were saying this is not the most opportune situation, or not the most desirable or fair situation for these drivers, considering the lead that Peppers and Welsh had. But I think for the fans, though, a 10-lap shootout with everyone starting all bunched up together, this is going to be quite the show for the fans.
All right, guys, got an announcement here. Just got confirmation from Jake Lund, the flagman. He did throw the checkered flag 10 laps early, so it's going to be a 10-lap shootout here to the end, boys.
Oh boy, I just started licking my chops because these guys are going to be hungry for a win here. It's going to be, as Carter said, a 10-lap shootout, Nelson, and they're going to be battling for the win. The question is, how do you go about these last 10 laps?
Well, it looks like by the looks of it here, they're going to do it as if it were a caution. So they're going to start single file. So it's going to be Michael Welsh, Chad Peppers, Scully in third. What's Scully's first name?
Joshua
Scully. He's going to be third. Gage Kemp fourth. John Shaw looks like he's in fifth. Quentin Fishline's going to be sixth, it looks like. And it's going to be a 10-lap shootout. So you got to get those tires as warm as fast as possible because 10 laps is going to be a very, very short race, especially with 12-second laps here. I'll let you boys take it over. Here you go.
All right, boogity boogity. Let's resume this thing and bring it home, boys.
I gotta imagine they'll give them at least one warm-up lap here, Nelson. So hopefully they get those tires all good and warmed up as they need.
Yep, they are right on. Everyone is on each other's tail.
Hey.
There is going to be no room given here. 10 laps, $500 on the line here. Let's see who can bring it home.
How badly do you want it? That is the question here. You got to get it all while you can on this restart. There's going to be no give, all take as they come out of turn number 4 to take the green flag.
Green flag is in the air, and we are underway for 10 laps here. Skelly gets a jump.
He's to the inside of Chad Peppers as
Gage Kemp follows him through. Gage Kemp is on the inside of Skelly. Skelly pulls away from Kemp for second. They have settled down now, it would appear. But now, no, we have a challenge as Kemp tried to dive down the inside of Skelly for second position.
Welch has probably about a 3-4 kart length lead over Joshua Skelly, but he is the fastest.
Skelly is on rails. Skelly is charging like there is no tomorrow. I have never seen a kart this fast around here before. He may catch him before these laps are up. Meanwhile, we have Gage Kemp in third, followed by Chad Peppers in fourth. John Shaw is fourth. Quentin Fishline sixth, and Broch brings up the rear.
It is Michael Welsh leading over Josh Skelly. Chad Peppers trying to fire under Gage Kemp. He trying to get that third spot.
Chad
But he
Peppers
didn't
dives
stop.
down the inside of Kemp for the position. He gets it done out of 2. Gage Kemp might try the undercut through 3 and 4. But no, looks like Peppers has the line protected. He has third.
Peppers trying to get to Skelly now. He's got his eyes set on second place. Skelly beginning to fall off of Michael Welsh in first. Welsh has probably a 6-cart length lead over Joshua Skelly.
I think Welsh has this in the bag, but Peppers dives down the inside to Skelly. Skelly gets the undercut, goes down the inside, going out of turn 2. He's
They
going
are
to get him
side by side for second position off turn
out
4.
of 4. Peppers has the momentum. Here comes Gage. Here comes Gage on the tail of Skelly. He got around Peppers.
Gage kept out of third position. He's trying to get Skelly. Meanwhile, Michael Welsh
2 to
has
go.
over a half a
2 to go. Gage Kemp tried to dive down the inside of Skelly. He didn't have the room to do it. Skelly, Gage, then Peppers. The 2, 3, 4.
Gage Kemp trying
White
to
flag.
get to the back
White
of
flag is out.
Josh Skelly. 1 lap to go.
Peppers goes down the inside of Kemp. Kemp gets the undercut out of 2. Side by side. Peppers on the outside into turn 3. Skelly has second.
Race. But Josh Skelly will get
Side
second.
by side.
Kemp third by a nose over Chad Pepper.
Wow. What a race.
Well, that's what a 10-lap shootout will give you, folks. But it didn't change the outcome of this race. Michael Welsh still comes home the winner. We'll give it to Carter Pease to interview our winner, Michael
to interview
Welsh,
the leaders now.
with his feature win here.
All right, what a race, full of controversy, full of action. 10-lap shootout to end it, and then it comes up with the same result. Michael Welsh for first, with it looks like Chad Peppers falling from second to fourth. And it looks like Mike Welsh is already done with his parade lap. And it looks like he's going to go into the pits there. Hold on one second. We got a message from Kevin Williams coming up. We'll get back with you in a second. Oh, gotcha. We're going to have to postpone that interview. All right, so we're going to actually postpone that interview because Michael Welsh is also running Yamaha tonight, so they want to get back and ready to go for that Yamaha race. They don't want any delay, so that's understandable. So we'll get, if Michael Welsh doesn't win that race as well, so we'll get 2 interviews for that Yamaha race.
You know, I got to believe that he should be practicing for the interviews he's going to have at Rock Island this year. I mean, he's going to have to get in and out of the cart for those interviews. I mean, the way he's been driving lately, he's going to get a win or two, so maybe we should just prepare. You know, we're helping to prepare this fellow. Well, Nelson, that was a thriller, to say the least.
Oh, yeah. No, I think most of the crowd here were on their feet for that. I mean, yeah, you heard it here first. It's Michael Welsh, baby.
Yeah, that's his kids over there. You know, always happy to see Dad when.
You know, maybe you should interview the kids.
Well, we never know what we're gonna get with kids on this show, Nelson. So.
But that's why it's always fun to interview the kids.
You are a kid. We have you.
I'm older than you, Joseph.
Still act like a kid. Anyway, next class up is the Yamaha Cadet class. That is Casey Williams and Branson
Bedingfield.
as we get ready for this race. And this will give us kind of a breather before the Yamaha race, Nelson.
Yeah. All right, green flag is out. They're not even getting a chance to do a warm-up lap.
Casey Williams pulls out to an early lead. No surprise there. He dominated the pre-final earlier today.
Yep, and I'll expect no less from him tonight, as it would appear that he is already has a full straightaway lead over the competition.
Casey Williams continues to lead here at Davenport Kartway as he comes around this time. This is a 20-lap feature, and you can understand from the Briggs 206 race how it could get confusing going from 20 to 30 laps for the flagman, switching back and forth like this. So,
yeah, definitely, and especially if you don't have any computer system counting it, and you've all got to do that yourself.
Meanwhile, here comes Casey Williams. He's about to put his competition a lap down. He flies through the corners here, Nelson.
Yeah, no, on straight line speed alone, you can see before the breaking point that Williams is so much faster than Bedingfield.
Benningfield wisely pulling over for the blue flag, going to let Casey Williams by here, I got to imagine. Maybe not, as Williams, he dove down to the inside there.
Well, he has now lapped Benningfield, so already has almost a straightaway lead on him.
And this is the point in the race where if you're Casey Williams, you just want to bring it home and hopefully get the checkered flag. Hopefully nothing mechanically goes wrong on the kart. Maybe back it off a little, take it easy so you can preserve the kart, the tires for another race, another day, when you have a really tough battle.
Yep, no, really, it's just a matter of bringing it home at this point. No need to push, although knowing young Mr. Williams, he is very well going to push as hard as he can.
Yep, every single lap. Benningfield continues to run. He comes down here into turn one, and his motor almost seems like it shuts off when he gets to the middle of the corner in comparison to Casey Williams. Once again, this is a junior class, so a lot of learning experience here for these drivers, Nelson.
Yeah, and while I've never driven one myself, I have heard that these two-cycle motors are a bit complex to operate with having to keep the revs up, so I'm not wondering if it's just a lack of
Familiarity.
Yes, I just cannot speak tonight, Joseph.
Oh, spin! That's Casey Williams! He spun trying to lap Benningfield. That's the exact thing we were talking about, Nelson. Maybe just take it easy these last few laps.
Yeah, so he didn't bring out the caution, but is that going to count as one of his black flags?
No, he didn't bring out a caution, and I don't see a reason why it would count for a black flag.
Yeah.
He's fastly approaching Benningfield again. We'll see if he takes his time passing him this time.
Yeah, I think he might get him on straight line speed next time around, perhaps.
Williams seems to be doing the smart thing right here, just riding around Benningfield, not necessarily putting him a lap down, but really he doesn't need to. He's already put him a lap down, and he's got a huge lead. Just ride this thing to the end. If he sees the opportunity to pass him, he will, which he does there.
Yeah, really, at this point it's just a matter of racing yourself and racing himself and making sure he doesn't do anything stupid.
Well, there's that saying, don't beat yourself, Nelson, and every race car driver does that at some point in time.
Yes, which generally that's, in my experience, that's usually when it's like don't push, just try and keep it easy.
Yeah.
And you just kind of get lulled into this sense of security. And yeah, that's usually one of the most dangerous times for mistakes to occur.
Well, these laps are winding down. We should get 2 to go this time by for Casey Williams as he goes through turns 1 and 2.
I'm not wondering if Casey is going to catch him next time around, actually.
If he's smart, he'll just stay behind him. White flag this time by, of course. Flagman didn't wave the white flag there. We'll see if he waves the checkered flag this time around.
Yes, he has it checkered out.
Williams is just going to let Benningfield take this last lap here. It will be the winner, Casey Williams, here in the final for the Yamaha Cadet class.
All right, after this, we will have Yamaha Senior, which should put on quite the thrilling show.
Well, let's get Carter's opinion about these Yamaha karts for a second, because you have a lot of experience with them. What do you expect in this Yamaha Senior class?
Let's see what we got here in the Yamaha Senior class. We have Michael Welsh, Brant Kart, Chad Peppers, Dustin Bloom, and Mike Dittmer. I think what I'm going to see here in this race is a duel, or rather a battle between Michael Welsh, Chad Peppers, and Mike Dittmer. Those three are very experienced. They have a massive number of years in experience between the three of them, and they all know this track very well. For as short as it's been here, they know the track very well. They all know how to tune a kart to an oval and how to make a kart go around a corner. So I think those three, if they get out to the front really quickly, it's going to be a nose-to-tail line, and it's going to be anybody's race.
I'm very tempted to agree with you, but the heat race though did show that both Blom and Brant Carter, not Carter Peace, but yeah. Brant Carter, are forces to be reckoned with in this battle.
In which case, you are right. There always is a wild card here. Sometimes with other drivers that they just happen to hit that setup and are just faster
faster than crap one weekend or one day of the racing, and especially in the Yamaha class, because it's such an even engine package anymore that I think any of these drivers have a chance at winning.
How many of these drivers have won a rock here, Carter? Has Peppers won a rock yet?
Only 2 drivers, I believe, on this list have won a rock. Peppers has been very, very close, but he has not been able to get that very prestigious trophy. Brant Carter hasn't competed in the rock many years. He has done relatively well. He's finished in the top 10 multiple times. Same with Dustin Bloom. He's finished in the top 10 multiple times. These guys are all very experienced at the rock and very competitive at the rock. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top here amongst all these guys.
We're about to find out who's about to come on top as they are now rolling for a warm-up lap. We have the number 75 of Welsh on pole position with number 18 of Chad Peppers to his right. Dittmer in the inside of row 2.
And then we got Dustin Bloom on the outside of row 2 and Brant Carter bringing up the rear. All 5 drivers very experienced. Green flag is in the air. Welsh gets a great start, and so does Dittmer.
Dittmer pushes him ahead, and it looks like Dittmer has second. They got a bit squirrely there as Peppers tried to push him, but Peppers is now up to third.
Yeah, Brant Carter manages to get 4th away from Dustin Bloom as some contact happened between turns 1 and 2. As Welsh goes into the lead here in turns 1 and 2, Dittmer right on his back bumper.
Looked like they're all about fairly even until they got through 1 and 2. They're all about nose to tail here, but the rear is where the battle is taking place with Blom and
Brant.
Blom and
Carter.
Blom and Carter battling it out in the back.
Dittmer goes to the inside of turn 1 and takes the lead from Michael Welsh. Welsh going for the dip and dive as they go into turn number 3 here. Welsh on the inside takes the lead back from Michael Dittmer. Dittmer looks back to go on the inside going into turn number 1. And all this is
Dittmer has
Peppers to come on in. Peppers almost follows Dittmer into to take all around Welsh, and Dittmer takes the lead. Oh, and Brant Carter has multiple contacts with Chad Peppers there. Dustin Bloom's going to capitalize and take 4th place from Brant Carter.
Welsh is all over the back of Dittmer. Looks like he's going to maybe try and make a dive. No, he doesn't. Meanwhile, in the back, there's a battle between the last 2 carts of Blom and Carter. Chad Peppers is kind of in the middle of it all, as now Welsh is looking over the back of Dittmer yet again. I think he's going to make a move for the lead up sometime soon.
Yeah, if Welsh makes that move, though, that'll put Chad Peppers right behind him, and it's going to be the duel between those 3. Right as I predicted right before this started, it's Dittmer, Welsh, Peppers, 1, 2, 3, as they go into just before halfway.
Yeah, you're dead right about that, about these 3. Yeah, you're dead right about these 3 pulling away, although it looks like the other 2 of Blom and Carter are staying with them.
And it's Welsh on the inside of Dittmer going to turn number 1. He takes the lead, and Dittmer's going to go back underneath him, going into 3.
Chad Peppers is just waiting as Dittmer is on the inside. Oh, and some contact there. It looks like Chad Peppers is going for the lead.
Chad Peppers from 3rd to 1st.
Peppers goes for the lead, but now it looks like that.
He's got Michael Welsh on the inside, but he's able to keep it around the outside, though. Dittmer's fighting to almost.
Meanwhile, Blom and Carter has caught up with them. It is a 5-way fight for the lead as there's contact
between Dustin Bloom and Brant Carter here as Dustin Bloom gets to the inside of Brant. Dittmer shoves his way through all the way to 4th now.
And meanwhile, Chad Peppers leads with Welsh in 2nd. You got a bit of a gap, but next it's number 4.
Dustin Bloom.
And then right behind them in 4th is Mike Dittmer with Brant Carter bringing up the rear.
Yeah, so far it's Chad Peppers 1st, Michael Welsh 2nd, Dustin Bloom 3rd, Mike Dittmer 4th. Dittmer looking to go into 3rd, but he's not able to get it done in turn 3, but it looks like he's going to pull to the inside of Dustin Bloom.
Looks like Welsh is really on the tail of Peppers now. He's caught him. He's going to make a move down the inside, but no. Dives back out halfway through now.
As we get the halfway flag, it's going to be Peppers and Welsh. Welsh all over Peppers' bumper as Dustin Bloom is in 3rd. Michael Dittmer in 4th, not able to get around
Welsh down the inside of Peppers for the lead.
Michael Welsh in the lead now at this point. Chad Peppers gets sideways, and Michael Welsh pulls a 1 cart length lead going into 3.
I think Peppers hit one of the pads on the inside of the corner or something.
Yeah,
he really got squirrely out there.
Yeah, you can see even in the brakes race, Chad Peppers is all over those little discs on the inside of the corners as Michael Welsh is pulling away now 3 cart lengths up ahead of Chad Peppers.
Yeah, now meanwhile, Dustin Blom is in 3rd. He's leading that secondary pack of Dittmer and Brant Carter.
Yep, it looks like Michael Welsh is pulling out a decent gap now over Chad Peppers. Chad Peppers slowing down considerably, and Dustin Bloom is catching him, along with Michael Dittmer and Brant Carter.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it's Michael Welsh's race to lose now. He has almost a 8-cart gap over the rest of them at this point in the race.
Absolutely. Chad Peppers losing ground. Everybody's just losing ground. Michael Welsh, he's in a league of his own. Chad Peppers still in second, but losing, and Dustin Bloom is gaining on him, and so is Dittmer and Carter. They're nose to tail at this point now. Nobody's looking to make a move yet.
Brant Carter seems to be the closest one to Dittmer right now. That's the closest gap on the track. We might see a move made, as it looks like Brant Carter is ever so slightly faster than Dittmer.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to get past him, though. Dittmer's one of the toughest guys to pass. I should know because I've raced against him multiple times. He's a really consistent driver. Meanwhile, it looks like Brant Carter's still gaining here, and it looks like Chad Peppers is finally planed out, and Dustin Bloom isn't able to gain anymore.
Yeah, meanwhile, Michael Welsh continues to build his gap. I think this is going to be his race. Chad Peppers seems to have a very secure second place, but Justin Blom is not going to give up back in third.
Yeah, I would say the battle for second still contested, but so is the battle for third.
Tried to drive down the inside of Dittmer. They're alongside each other, going into three. Looks like Brant Carter has got the position over Dittmer. Dittmer may look down his inside. He does not into turn two. Brant Carter has made the position up over Dittmer.
Just think, at the beginning of this race, Dittmer was leading, but now he's last after all that schmozzle and all that action was happening.
Yeah, I'm not wondering if his kart is not set up for the later runs in the race, whereas everyone else had more of a longer run set up with their tires.
Absolutely, and you can see Michael Welch is set up for that long run with 2 laps to go now.
Brant Carter down the inside of Dustin Blom.
Brant Carter goes from 5th to 3rd in the matter of about 3 laps, and Dittmer follows suit.
White flag is out.
And it looks like Dittmer's gone to 4th now. White flag is out. Michael Welch leads going into turn 3. Coming out of turn 3 and into turn 4. Out of turn 4. Michael Welch with the double victory.
Chad Peppers second. Brant Carter in third. Followed by Mike Dittmer and Blom bringing up the rear in 5th. Now we go to Carter Pease for the interview with Michael Welch, the winner of both Yamaha Senior and Briggs Senior.
Absolutely. We weren't able to get that interview right away after the Briggs Senior race because Michael Welch had only one race in between Yamaha and Briggs here, so we were going to get 2 for 1 with interviews. Going to ask him about both the Briggs Senior and Yamaha Senior races. A great day for Michael Welch here, as he got his victory lap in already with the Briggs, and now he's getting pictures taken with the checkered flag. And he's going to head his way on over here after he's done taking pictures and everything. A double victory for Michael Welch. One heck of a racer here, a karting driver from the QC, winner of multiple rocks, and now a double winner here today at Davenport Kartway. And that's going to cap off the Ken Williams Memorial Summer Series. Michael Welch is still getting pictures taken by the track staff here, so we'll have to see. Hold on one second. All right, we are just getting word here from Joseph Rapp, a reliable source, that it looks like Michael Welch is going to be the winner overall of the Ken Williams Memorial Summer Series in Yamaha, but not in Briggs. Chad Peppers looks like he won the Briggs title. And Michael Welch is going to make his way on over here. Hey, Mike, can we grab a quick interview? Awesome stuff, man. All right, and he's making his way on over here. Mike, a fantastic day for you, man. 2 victories in one day with both Briggs. Actually, I want to ask you about the Briggs first. The race ended prematurely after 20 laps, and it was a 30-lap race. What was your mindset going into those last 10 laps for that final?
I was just hoping I could hold the lead, and actually, it was nice kind of get a little break there because I was doing this class too, so I was probably kind of, in a way, I was happy, but then it bunched us all up again. So.
Yeah, I was about to say that you had a pretty steady lead over is you and Peppers going at it, and then it just bunched everybody back up, and even brought Josh Scully and Gage Kemp back into the mix there. So, what was your opinion on that? Do you think that it should have been maybe treated a little differently, or do you think it was handled in the right way?
I think it was handled the right way. I mean, this 30 laps was the final, so flagman kind of shorted it a little bit, and
radio
that's all right.
broadcast.
I still won, so maybe if I got second, it would have been a different thing.
Absolutely. And then for Yamaha here, you are the winner here as well, and it's looks like you're going to be the winner of the Ken Williams Memorial Summer Series. What do you think of the series as a whole, and as a tribute to Ken Williams, a great man and the sport of karting with QC as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Karting
I've been friends with this family for many years, so since I was a child, and I lived next door to Kevin and Ken and all them guys for years, and yeah, it means a lot to me to win this, and he was a really good guy. So it was an awesome series. I had a lot of fun, and yeah, I ended up winning it, so I'm happy.
All right. Thanks, Michael. Good job, man. All right, we'll throw it back to Joseph. What do you think of this whole series, man?
Well, this was a fantastic series. I thought the turnout for these Wednesday night races was great. The fan turnout was spectacular as well. Overall, I'd have to give this summer series an A+ success, and I'd expect to see it back next year, Nelson.
You know, I'm not wondering if maybe they should just turn this into, if they should just shift the club racing to Wednesday nights, because this is a resounding success as far as both how many people showed up for it, as both racers and spectators.
We'll leave that debate for our next show of Radio Kart, because I have a comeback to that. But
All right.
I did
look
enjoy
forward
the
to it.
series, and we hope you all enjoyed listening to the race broadcasts tonight. Michael Welsh came home with $500 in his pocket in the Yamaha senior class, and it was Chad Peppers getting $500 in the Briggs 206 senior class. For now, I'm Joseph Rapp.
I'm Nelson Ulinsky.
I'm Carter Pease. Thank you for listening.